Hello and welcome to today's See You Next Thursday. Today, unfortunately, Billy can't make it, so you're stuck with just myself, Ed001, and Seamus, Ed's six. Oh, what's your? I see. I can
77.
never remember your number. Is it what 660?
77.
777? Is it
Yeah,
sevens?
double
God,
seven.
if only something could happen in football that'd make the number 7 stick in my head so I don't forget which number you are. Wouldn't it be great? But like I can't see the chances of that happening as obviously tiny, aren't they? So I'll just have to keep forgetting it until one day eventually something will happen and stick the number 7 in my head so I remember you're 77. Hopefully.
Yeah, maybe that would be the points you guys finish on.
Yeah. I mean,
No, no way. I've heard a lot of chatter about the 7 in the room.
right. So what you gotta say? Come on.
No,
Come on.
no, but
Make all your excuses. Let's
listen,
hear your
no, listen,
excuses. Come on.
listen. I think the most important 7 that matters, but people seem to just not be mentioning it is we are 7 points ahead of you guys.
There's plenty of time left in the season to go, and you're starting to struggle now. Your form's dipping.
Dipping my ass.
Well, you've just lost 7-0. That's kind of. That's
No,
kind
but
of.
no,
Well, look,
no, no.
average
Come on,
average
Chris.
view
It's no, no.
duration
It's not the
zero
ideals.
7. How weird that?
It's
On your.
not. No, it's not the ideal situation. But would you rather be 7 points ahead or 7 points behind with
Oh,
13 games to go?
oh yeah, definitely rather be ahead. But like,
So
but oh,
we could lose next game 7-0 as well and still be like well above you guys. Come on.
yeah. But if you keep losing 7-0, all your confidence goes. You know what I mean?
No, it's not about.
It
No,
comes
it's
down
not
to
just
now.
about confidence. It's not just about confidence. It's
Goal
also
difference.
goal difference.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And our goal difference wasn't the most healthiest going into the game anyway. So I guess we have to start with the game because I don't think there's been a bigger talking point this whole week.
Yeah, I don't know because you've been in hiding, so you haven't been about to talk to.
Hiding my ass. Come on.
You haven't been replying to anything on the on our group chat. Yeah.
No. I would like to ask
I
you like
haven't
your
even.
opinion.
I've barely put
Did you watch
anything
the
up.
game?
Oh yeah, I barely
Did
put
you watch
anything
the
up
game?
afterwards. Yeah, obviously because I didn't.
Uh,
Obviously, I don't watch it at the time because of superstition.
okay. Okay, so maybe I should start. No, I think you
I
should
mean,
start because
I think.
I have more things to say.
Well, all I've got to say is Gary Neville said Liverpool didn't play that well. Well, then how fucking bad are United if they didn't play that well? If Liverpool didn't play that well against them and beat them 7-0? I mean, does he not actually think about what he's saying? Well, what's the point in saying that? Just admit.
Don't bring Gary Neville and Jamie
Oh, you've got to
Carragher and
be.
all the other things.
Oh no,
No,
you've got to mention them.
no. Just listen. No, just answer my question. Question. How did you see the game?
How did I see it? I
How,
watched
no,
it
how,
on a
you know,
screen.
no. Review the game. Come on. Give your perspective and then maybe I'll
um,
jump in.
I think Liverpool just looked like Liverpool again. That was all. That was the
I told
difference.
you.
That was the difference.
I was very interactive during the game. If you had noticed, you probably didn't. But
No, I was asleep.
that was
I
my
told
point.
you
No,
during
that
the
was
game I
my
was asleep.
point. I thought so.
That's
I
the only
thought
way.
so.
It's the only
With
way I
that,
can not
yeah.
watch it. I can't. If I'm awake, I end up putting it on, and then of course, whenever I put it on, we've lost. So I have to force myself to sleep. We haven't conceded the goal since I did that. I stayed up. I woke up for the Real Madrid game. It's like, fuck.
And it was the opposite for me. Like I said last week as well. I've been watching the games and we've been
Mm.
winning the games. I fucking watched the 7-0 battery.
So It's
No,
obviously
it's
your
at
superstition
least
isn't as
now I can.
strong as my superstition. That's what we found out. I'm obviously
No,
more important in
no,
the
it
world of
was the West.
football.
No, it was the West Ham game midweek that had broken the whole curse or the reverse curse or whatever. No, just like like you were saying, Liverpool looked more like a Klopp team.
Yeah, that was the difference. And to be honest, I actually agree with Gary Neville to a degree. Liverpool weren't at their at their best Klopp level, but
Oh, like
it's still
you might laugh. No, no, nah,
gone
he's gonna
forward.
get trolled. Like no, Gary Neville is gonna get trolled, and rightfully so for saying Liverpool didn't play that well. They won 7-0, but he has a point. Liverpool didn't deserve a 1-0 lead going into the halftime. A nil-nil would have been a fair result on both teams' performance going into the halftime. Halftime, neither team were like that much better or worse than the other.
I don't
It was
know.
a very good goal. No, it was a very good goal, but both teams had their like glimpses, but it wasn't a clear cut like domination or anything. A nil-nil, and you wouldn't have said like, oh, Liverpool should have been winning the game by halftime or whatever. It was a very good goal, very good play, but Liverpool nearly conceded before their first goal.
That's very much the way they play under Klopp. They do
No,
take risks.
I'm not
I
criticizing.
don't
I'm
know.
just saying.
It's
No,
I
I'm
can
just
see what
saying.
you're saying. I can see
In
what
the
you're
first
saying.
half, first half, it was almost an equal game.
Mm, yeah, almost. Apart from that one goal.
No, Liverpool just got into the game like 5 minutes before the halftime. Truly, like started playing better than us. And then, like in the next 5-10 minutes after the first like halftime, they just blew us away.
Which is very much what they can do. It's been coming, to be honest. I think I know people have been moaning about not being playing well and that, but I think the front three have shown
No,
signs that they would
no,
knit
this
it
is the game.
together.
Like
It's been coming.
I think this is the game. This is the game that has been like so much on the cusp for especially Darwin Nunez.
Yeah.
It's like he's been like he's been criticized. I guess rightfully for missing chances. Although everybody misses chances, he's been criticized for like, but he barely missed a chance.
Mm. He's. I think he's actually been playing some great football. He's not been clinical, but then knows Mo Salah, and he still scored over 20 goals every season. So you know.
Oh, like on the topic of Mo Salah, like I know I'm just drifting slightly away from the goal like game, but I saw two like I've witnessed two things in the past week. One, like Mo Salah in decline
Mm.
has more goal involvements than Marcus Rashford in the form of his life. And the next one was like there was a debate somewhere on the football media, like it was a stupid question, but who has had a bigger drop of Son or Salah? Come on.
Mm.
So like Salah is still on course for 20 plus goals and assists.
He's already got 20.
No, just in the Premier League.
Oh right, yeah, Premier League alone.
In
Yeah,
the Premier League
yeah, I've
alone.
got you. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Salah hasn't been at his scintillating best this season, but he's still racking up the numbers, isn't he? I mean, he's just set the record for Premier League record. Obviously, not the full for Liverpool. I think his problem is he's been that good that when you set the bar that high, it becomes, a slight drop. If you drop down to mere mortal level, you see, like the rest of the Premier League level, you
Like
suddenly
it's
look
happening
so
with like
different.
just this season it's been happening with De Bruyne as well.
Mm. Oh yeah, he's been struck. He's not looked anything like his old self, has he?
No, but no, people think like, oh, De Bruyne is finished. Hey, hang on a minute. He's still the top creator in the league.
Hmm. To be fair,
He's not been at his best level, but he's
mm,
not been a poor player all of a
oh
sudden.
no,
He's
no.
just being a normal, very good player.
The problem is when you're playing for City, you should be creating a lot of chances because they're always getting chances. You know what I mean? It's
No, he still creates the
but
most chances for City.
he's definitely the
He's just
keeper.
like no, he's just playing like at a human level instead of
Mm.
his like
Oh yeah,
superhuman level.
he's
Just
top
like
class.
Salah is, like you would say, like he's playing for Liverpool in the front three and all that. You should be scoring goals. Yeah, he's still scoring
Mm.
plenty of goals. He should be creating chances. He is still creating chances.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem, mostly what he's being criticised for is not tracking back, but he's always been the one that stayed up. That's always been his way. You know what I mean? And he does track back. That's the thing. I mean, usually the one who tracks back off corners. You know, attacking corners. If there's a break, he's the one that runs back with them. And that's a lot of effort he's putting in, and he does a lot of movement off the ball as well. I mean, can't criticise him for being lazy because he doesn't chase back all the time. That's the way Liverpool have always played. They've always had a slight bias towards playing the
No, it's
short.
also like it's a similar case with like criticizing Robbo and Trent for getting caught out of
Yeah,
position when teams quickly break. Before and there would be two midfielders covering those guys. It's
mm, exactly. It's the way Liverpool play that's catching them out, not them that's being caught out. I think is yeah, I agree with you.
so.
So
Anyways, I think
where do
I
Man United
I
go from
think
here? Come on, what?
no. I think the game like 7-0 is a flattering score line, right? It wasn't the golfing class between the teams wasn't that much. The issue is once we went like we considered those 2-3 quick goals after the like restart in the second half, players just stopped working. Like it was
That's what I mean.
they were already on the bus.
That's what I
And
mean.
that
It,
no no
that's the
no
big
I'm
thing.
getting to a point. Come on, getting to answering your question, and that just shows like for all the positivity around Man United, all the like praise that Ten Hag has gone, it actually just gave us a reality check that this is still a team in progress, and this is still a team that actually has in the past 12 months laid down two managers
Mm.
with their poor shitty attitude. We
It,
just highlighted that the team there is still a lot of work to be done with the team.
oh yeah. But what I was going to say is, I was gonna say, did you find it worrying that the things Martinez is best at, he was torn apart by Salah at on speed of foot, twisting and turning, defensive one on
Oh
one.
come on, that
That's
like what was
is
it the
that a
second or
worry?
third goal? No, it's not a worry. Was it the second or third goal? Martinez unfortunately slipped, and
He was
yeah,
put on his ass. It was a
no,
slip
no,
because
no,
he
come
was
on.
twisted into. He
No,
was
he was
twisted
twisting and
out of it
turning, but no,
because
he
his
was twisting and
no, that's
turning.
bad
Salah,
footwork.
listen to
Watch
me,
his
come on.
footwork. He didn't slip. He slipped because he
Come
didn't put his feet down properly because he was twisted up so badly.
no,
That's that's forced into a mistake.
Salah had the better of him. Maybe you are right. Like he was like dilly dallying and like not on his best footwork, but he did slip. Of whatever reason, he did slip. And by the way, so did Allison as well. So I'm not.
Hmm.
Maybe it was wrong choice of booze. Maybe it was like too much water just after the halftime. Nobody slept like 15 minutes after that. It was just after the restart, so maybe too much water or whatever. Both sets of players were sleeping. It can happen. It can happen. You're entitled to have a poor game. I still stand by my take that Van Dijk had a relatively poor first half, at least. In the second half, we didn't do anything, but I thought Van Dijk was quite. I th- as just a like football fan, I thought it was quite worrying actually to see Van Dijk play.
I still think he's not the player he was. He doesn't look anywhere near it, to be honest. I'm still worried by him. He still doesn't look even close to the player he was, Van Dijk.
Yeah, and like Van Dijk, instead of his like normal, calm, like collective, confident demeanor. He had more of like your moaning, complaining, or I personally feel Van Dijk has lost the aura around him.
Mm. Yeah, it
For
definitely.
so, anyways, we lost our heads. That is why we lost the game 7-0. But there was a point like everything Liverpool did was just coming off.
Actually, don't.
Every shot, everything. And I'm not gonna single any player out because it would be unfair.
No, but I did want to ask something. That's what I was trying to say before. I nearly forgot, but Stevens just mentioned it. He said about looking forward to discussing captains. That's what I wanted to ask you when I was saying about the point I was trying to make about the where do United go from here. I was gonna say, Bruno Fernandes is. I mean, his performance was disgraceful. Nothing short of that, really. He was abysmal. His
Everyone was
attitude is
poor, so
stinking.
I'm not gonna
But
I'm not gonna
no, no, I
like
know that.
single
But
anyone out.
I was just going to ask you: does he have Is he a captain material? Is he the right man to lead United forward into the future? Because I don't see his performance and the way he acts on the pitch as captain material myself ever. I've never seen it in him. I mean, he works hard. He plays some great football. And there's nothing wrong with the way he plays. Is in terms of but I just don't think he's a leader. I've never seen any signs of him being a leader. He's far too petulant for starters. And I think it's been coming, and his attitude in that game was that of someone who led by example. He threw in the towel long before anybody else, from what I saw. I thought, and I think.
I know
Do
that
you think
I'm
that
I'm
should?
pretty sure I'm pretty sure what your answer is gonna be. But if not him, then who?
See, that's the question you've got to ask. I mean, you're looking at Martinez is really or Casemiro, isn't it? The two you've got to choose between, in my opinion.
No, I think like a very good candidate to be the club captain,
You're going to say
like to be the
Rashford.
guy, like yeah, to be the guy who's on the like front and center of all the commercial
Hmm.
programs for the club, to lead the club, like to be the commercial head, the sponsor head for the club. It would be Rashford.
Hmm.
But again, is he that? Is he the leader that Manchester United Football Club is looking for? Because let's face it, ultimately it is a football club.
Exactly. That's the problem. Rashford. I love Rashford as a player.
I think
He's
like I think
great.
Rashford
Um,
is a like should be like one of the players in the first team that the young kids, the under 18s, the under 16s, and
hmm.
everyone else should be looking at to emulate. Both as a player, as like someone who came through the academy, the guy doing his work in the community, everything. But at the end of the day, is he really captain material for what the club needs, what the team needs? That's the issue. And like Casemiro, like we've had this discussion before. How long is his game at this level gonna last?
Hmm.
How long before he goes back to his Real Madrid performances, which are, I'm not gonna say they're bad, but they're nowhere near this level.
But maybe a
How long?
captaincy could be what he needs to feel like. Because I think it's helping him that he's kind of like carrying the midfield. He's the key figure. I think giving him the captaincy might be what he needs to reinforce that and keep him at the level.
That's the issue with us. Like even like Casemiro, Lisandro Martinez, they only joined in the summer.
Yeah.
They were Martinez was hardly playing the game, like hardly into the starting 11, and Casemiro had just about finished his fitness regime when Maguire was dropped.
Mm.
You can't give Martinez, who already has a lot of pressure, a lot of chatter, because he had a horrible performance against Brentford. Casemiro had hardly joined the club when Maguire was dropped. And lest we forget, the actual club captain is still Harry Maguire.
And yeah, I know. I was just thinking, it's like it's hard to remember
So,
to
so how
forget.
can you
Easy
remove
to forget about.
like Bruno? Like how do you say like Bruno is no longer the captain when he isn't actually the captain?
See, that's the thing that I don't understand. Is this shouldn't be an issue. Why is it being such a big talking point when he could, we could easily just say, well, for the next game, you have the armband to
No, for
whoever.
the next game, I think for the next game, which is today,
Oh yeah,
you
it's
should
tonight,
just
isn't it?
like yeah tonight, not today, yeah
So,
whatever.
so
We should just drop Bruno or rest Bruno, however you want to phrase it, and then go on from it.
hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea. That if you give him a rest, as in like reportedly, report it as in being a rest, then you can change the captain without it being a problem. And then if it doesn't work out,
You bring him back,
yeah,
and if it works out, it works out.
yeah, nobody's gonna be questioning it. You're right. Yeah, I think that's a very good
And
solution.
to be honest, surely the guy must need some rest, man. He
But
hardly gets injured, he hardly gets subbed, and he hardly gets rested.
I agree with you, but I must do because he played all the World Cup as well.
No, like since he joined Man United, I off the top of my head I can't remember him actually missing a game out injured, like being out with an injury, even if it's a 2 week, 3 week injury.
No, the only thing I think, didn't he get suspended for a bit and that was it? I think that's the only thing, isn't it? The only games he's missed, apart from
Yeah,
League
like
Cup.
one or two games. Otherwise, like he's an ever present in the team.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
surely that must at some point, especially when we're playing like 2 games every week. We've been playing 2 games every
Hmm.
week, like almost ever since the World Cup.
And Thursday night's killer anyway. Thursday nights, playing on it for some reason it really does seem to mentally affect players playing on a Thursday night more than playing on a
Yeah,
Tuesday,
like
Wednesday, which
no,
I don't understand.
yeah, Wednesday, Saturday, nobody complains. Thursday, Sunday, everybody is up in arms. I don't understand why.
No, it's one of those things that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Because you're either playing as early, a day early on a Tuesday, in which case it's the same gap as playing a Thursday, Sunday. You're playing a Saturday, Tuesday, or you're playing the Wednesday. You're still playing 2 games a week. What difference does it make when they are? I don't understand this big issue really.
Now, beforehand, there would be like some issue with Europa League, especially because you're traveling to like offbeat countries, like you play traveling a lot
But you're playing
longer.
with Betis.
No, no, that was not, that was before. Like, but
Hmm.
nowadays, even Europa League has a lot of like your familiar teams. A lot
Hmm.
of teams from Spain, France, Germany, Netherlands, like teams near about.
Yeah,
I don't understand it, but it seems to affect.
it
It seems
really
to
does.
affect things. I
It
don't know
really
how.
does. See, that's what I was thinking when you were talking about. We were saying we were going to discuss Arsenal today. That was the thing you were saying. You think that actually they're starting to look like champions. That's the thing that's making me hesitate from saying it. Is because they've got to play Thursday. So
Yeah, but they're not gonna take their competition seriously, and I'm not done talking Man United.
do you think Arteta will keep? He hasn't got any. He hasn't got any fringe players to put in. That's the thing, because he's got rid of everyone.
No, but he can play TNA at left back. I don't know who plays. Yeah, he can play. Put Tomiyasu at right back. I don't know. No, he can try out the guy they signed, Kiwior at centre back. There's Jorginho, Elneny, Reece Nelson has hardly started any games. He can bring him in. And Ketia back. Oh, come on. And they're playing Sporting, so if you really wanted to, you can like frame it as rotation and then get knocked out by Sporting and nobody loses
Hmm.
face. You can basically sack the competition. And
Oh,
I don't think even the Arsenal supporters would be too up in arms.
I don't think they care at the moment, to be honest. And, let's face it. If it was Man United in that position, would you care if you sacked off the Europa League to go for the when you were 5 points clear in the Premier League? With what, isn't it a game in hand or two?
No, there's no game in hand.
Oh, they caught up on the games in hand. I thought they still.
Yeah. It's 26 games for City and Arsenal, 25 for Liverpool and Man United.
Of course, that's probably where I'm thinking of it. Liverpool.
Yeah, we both have a game in hand.
Yeah. So that's yeah. I mean, they've got a 5 point lead. You've got to go for the Premier League, haven't you? In the position they're in, you've got
Am
to
I
go
wrong?
for it.
Am I wrong in thinking there's a City Arsenal game yet to be played?
I believe they've still got to play one more.
Yeah, one game. So it's
Wasn't it? Was it the one that was postponed? Their game that was postponed,
I'm
or
not
is
sure
that the
what I.
one they've played? And I can't remember now. I get it's so
No,
difficult to
I'll
keep
just check. I'll
track at
just
the
check
moment.
around.
Things are so busy here.
No, I'll just check it. I think there's a game in April. No.
For those
Yeah,
that
there's a game. Yeah, in April. There's a City Arsenal in
see what
April.
I mean, there's still every chance it could.
Oh wow, April is a big month for Arsenal in the Premier League. They've got Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea. Oh
Wow.
wow,
Oh
it's
wow.
it's a and Man City Chelsea is like Wednesday Saturday unless there's gonna be some change in the schedule.
Wow.
Oh, my point might not stand because after the 7-0, I don't think anybody wants to play Liverpool.
No, that's true. But yeah,
No,
people
a
start.
seven goal a 7-goal Man United Liverpool tie is it's a rarity, but a 7-goal Arsenal Liverpool game is a normalcy. Come on, we've seen 4-3s, five
Yeah,
twos,
exactly.
4-2s, whatever.
Yeah.
There was a time when 4-0 inside the first half or half an hour actually was a normal scoreline for Liverpool, wasn't it?
Mm. I mean, United don't lose by that big a margin. I mean, isn't that like tied your record ever
Yeah,
defeat in not just the Premier League here? I mean your entire history. So you kind of expect Man United to come back from it. They just don't. It's not normal. It's not something that's. It is a one-off result. It doesn't matter. Is it? It's a freak result because things just went well for Liverpool. Did they deserve to win? Yeah, but seven. I just don't think it. There's ever a game I've watched where a team has actually gone out and you've thought, yeah, they deserve 7-0 win. To be honest, anyway. Five is probably the most one-sided, most one-sided game I think I've ever seen was Liverpool against Nottingham Forest when they beat them 5-0, and that was about the fair result, and that was completely one-sided. Just you just don't. I just don't think in football ever one team is that much better in a game because you always have
no, but after a
periods
point,
where they sit back.
when it gets 4 and 5, teams start to either the winning team starts to take the foot off the
Yeah,
gas,
exactly.
or the losing team completely loses its head, or they're completely in like just get me out of here mode, and then things just go bad.
Hmm. Yeah, it's rare that it actually is. When you were saying about it, it wasn't really a 7-0 fair result. Like, if you see what I mean, like it wasn't.
But I'm saying
I
like
just don't.
7-0 is a flattering
Yeah.
scoreline.
I,
Liverpool were very good, but they were not 7-0 good. And and I think you're very right. No team is hardly ever 7 goals better than the other one.
yeah, I mean, Stephen's pointing out that you have conceded a lot of goals against Liverpool in the last 4 games, but to be fair, that was under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, 3 of them. So I don't think you can really compare this. That's why it was a one-off because it's a totally different setup now. you wouldn't expect a Ten Hag team to lose by that many. Res and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, they were freaking awful to watch, and they
No,
were
we have
always in
conceded.
danger of losing goals. They just somehow muddled through. Somehow it was just insane how lucky you got to keep him in his job. It was bizarre. I, yeah, I mean it is a one-off, 7-0.
So let me just ask: Do you do you want to keep Salah or sell Salah in the summer? And before you answer, just let it be known to you. I remember what you said 2 weeks ago when I asked the same thing.
Yeah, well, no, because I said I would sell him. I didn't say I wanted to sell him. I just said I would sell him because we've got to raise funds and lower the wage bill. Liverpool are in a position where Martin Edwards and Julian Ward have left the club absolutely smashed in terms of the huge salaries
I
they
think
paid out to average players, and they've got to get rid of a bunch of them. And you can't sell. Like I said, there's three. You've got the whole defensive back line, the centre backs need changing, but you can't sell them all at once to change it. So you've got to look elsewhere to get rid of a few, to bring in a bit of money and lower the wage bill so you can afford to do the changes you need. And that's where the problem
I
is.
think like looking at Liverpool, realistically, there are 4 players that you could sell for a decent enough fee.
Exactly. There's not like a lot of
Those
play.
would be like those would be Allison, which would be a
Well,
ridiculously
yeah,
stupid thing to do. Trent, again a stupid
yeah.
decision. A bit more sensible than Allison, but still a ridiculously
Mm,
stupid decision. Van Dijk, but then again, it's not gonna be anywhere close to how much you could raise by selling either Allison or Trent.
mm,
And Salah. Those are the 4 players that I can see
exactly.
like bringing in like a significant chunk of money in and like a significant amount of money going like off the wage bill.
Yeah, and the problem is Liverpool got so many players that are going to be leaving on freeze because they've either overpriced them when they've tried to sell them, or they've overpaid them when they bought them, like Keita and that. It's in trouble.
No, and like
It's
and
not a case
I was
of
like,
you want to get rid of Salah. It's a case of you've got to consider letting him go before he gets to a point where he's not going to raise you any funds.
no, before he becomes too like it becomes too expensive to actually replace him on that.
Yeah. Well, no, I think Doak coming through could probably, in a couple of years, we'll probably save the
But
club a
that's no,
lot of
but
money.
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous amount of pressure
Well, for
on
now,
him.
you've got Hakpo, Diaz, um, Nunes,
They're all centered to the left side of players. You need someone to play right side.
Elliot, Carvalho, Jota. There's plenty
Oh,
of
come on.
options there. There's plenty of options there. Though personally, the first one I'd sell would be Jota if he'll raise funds. There's talking
No,
you
but
want to
how
get one
much?
of them. Get rid, then take the money, whatever they offer.
No,
I'll,
you can't.
what?
You can't be like whatever they offer. You have to try and at least
Well,
get
yeah.
some profit for
Well, you
him.
take as much as you can get, like. But what I'm saying is, you've got to, he'd be the one that I'd sell out of all of them. But he's not good enough to get in the first choice 11 at any point. There's no way. He's not even close to good enough. He's not as good as there's 4 players there at least that are better than him.
And
Diaz,
there are 5 attackers,
Trent.
right? You have 5 players. Not now. I mean, in the summer, you will have 5 players in the attack, senior players,
Yeah,
and he's nowhere near good enough
and he's
to be in
fifth.
the top 4. Yeah, like
He's fifth. He's the worst of them. He's not good at pressing. He's not good at link up play. He's not when the ball's at his feet. He's not the best finisher. In the air, he's clinical, which is bizarre because he's not that tall. But he is a very good finisher with the ball on his head. For some reason, he tends to score more often than not
no,
when he's.
he's the target fair, like almost like on a freakishly consistent level with his head.
Yeah, he's excellent at that, but he's just not good enough at the rest of the game to get in the team regularly, and you can't. You can't have a player that's if you can raise what 50, 67, whatever. I don't know how much you get for him, and he's injury prone. He gets a lot of injuries. He did at Wolves, and he's getting them at Liverpool. I think he'd be the one that
No,
you'd look at
in
to
an
sell.
ideal world, I would think like in an ideal world, Liverpool should and would want to replace like sell Jota and replace him with someone who can
Hmm.
cover for Salah much more naturally than anyone else.
Yeah, you got player like you got Elliot and Doak and that can cover him, so you don't really need to go and buy even if you sell Jota because
No, but
he's
for
only
no
a
no no.
sub
If you
anyway.
if you have 5 players, you would want someone who is much more comfortable through the right side
Hmm.
than anyone else except Salah is on among those 5 players.
Yeah, which is why I
And
said
yeah, and
Elliot.
I know like Salah like hardly ever misses games. Is ultra fit, whatever. But if you want the fifth player in the attacking half, like attacking set of players, then you'd want someone who is much more comfortable through the right.
Yeah, it's
Because you've got 4 players who are very good from the left hand side. You probably would want it to be more like 3-2 than 4-1, right?
hmm. Yeah. I mean, the only ones we've got that can play on the right that are
Our
comfortable there.
kids are
Yeah,
basically kids.
Elliot and Stoke are the two. Oh,
This Kate Gordon as well.
Cade Gordon. That's the one I was trying to think of. Musialovsky can play on the right as well. But
Yeah, but is he any good?
skill-wise, brilliant, but he's
Looking good in the
he's
youth side is
yeah,
different, man.
he's
Come
not.
on.
No, he's not gonna. Doak, I think,
You
could
never know.
suit.
You never
Yeah,
know. You never know. But
yeah, I
you
don't.
never know how players take
But
to
I
the
wouldn't with
first team.
Gordon either. I'm not impressed by him personally, but I know a lot of people love him. I don't think he's that good. But yeah, but you've
Well,
got,
and we're
sometimes you've got to leave spaces in the squad for kids to have a go. Otherwise, you may as well just scrap an academy. There's no point in having it. You end up like Chelsea, where you have a brilliant academy, and all the players are just leaving, and you end up in a
on Chelsea. Like
shambles. You end
I
up
don't know
with a
how accurate
shambles.
is. I don't know how accurate it is, but apparently they've got like 31 first team players.
Something like that. They've got a lot.
31. Come on.
But
You're
look,
not
they've
even
got a
allowed
lot
more
bigger
than
squad.
25 in the squad.
Mm. Yeah,
Oh,
it's too
bloody hell.
many. Yeah, there's
And even if it is like you've got like let's say among the 31, if even if you have like 18 young players, basically under 21 players, you don't need to register. But still, it's 31 is too much.
mm,
21 is already getting too much.
yeah, because how do the kids get a chance? This is the thing you've got to think of when you've got an academy like they've got, which is superlative. It is possibly the best in Europe. It's certainly up there. It's certainly the best
No,
in England.
I actually like genuinely think the best setup, or maybe it's more like born out of the circumstance where they're located and everything. I think Paris Saint-Germain had the best academy in itself.
Yeah, that's a good. That's a good.
Chelsea have a good youth setup more so than an attack academy
Hmm.
because they buy a lot of talented
Yeah,
players. They are very good at
that's
recognizing
a fair point.
young talents because not all of their players are just the local kids that they get around. I guess like it would be PSG and
Yeah,
then maybe your Benfica and then Chelsea, Ajax and then everyone else.
Hmm. Yeah, you make a fair point. But anyway, they've got an excellent academy. Well, youth setup, shall we say? Chelsea have, they bring through a lot of players, but they're not regularly putting in as many as they should be into the first team because they simply buy players to fill the gaps. And I don't want Liverpool to go down that road because they've putting a lot of work on the academy. Trent's shown that like players can come through and excel. You really need to be looking at doing more of that, especially in the position Liverpool are in, where financially there's no way you can even hope to compete with teams like City. So you have to find
And
a way.
Chelsea, and Chelsea, we're gonna spend
Wow.
500 million in a year. Come on.
Are they going to do that every season? No, I can't see that they can do. I think that was a one-off because he's bought it and invest. You can invest more through FFP. You know, you're allowed an
And
initial.
I think it's just ridiculous. What? Where else can he spend 500? Even if if he was allowed to. Where else? He's already got 31 players.
Yeah, yeah, they've got to shrink their squad down desperately. But I mean, you can see the mess they're in already. They're looking like losing Mount.
Would you take him?
Oh yeah, if his wages were, sorry, the cost
But
and his
where would he
wages,
play? Where would he play?
he'd fill in midfield.
No, no. I think it's you'd rather get Bellingham, right? And I
Oh,
don't think
Bellingham, great.
Bellingham and Mount. No, I don't think Bellingham and Mount is a good idea for Liverpool or any team.
I know you get Bellingham all day long if that's the choice. But I'm saying if I'm looking at the team as it is now, would Mount improve the team as it is now? You know what? Right, it's close because it's so difficult to know where he plays. But he could
And
play.
also, we're full disclosure, we're judging the team after the 7-0. When, like I said, Henderson had a good game,
Hmm.
and I said that's the one thing that's been the biggest concern, like biggest issue for Liverpool. Henderson's legs.
But
That
Henderson,
was the biggest thing missing.
But Henderson's legs haven't been a problem. Liverpool haven't played a way that's made him have to do that before. That's just the thing. It's the way Liverpool have been playing that's been a problem. It's what I keep saying about why people were saying we need to buy 17 midfielders. I keep saying it doesn't. That's not the issue at Liverpool. The issue wasn't that we needed. Yes, we do need. Liverpool clearly need to upgrade. Upgrade the midfield. It's clearly an issue, and the defence as well, the centre backs, because they just can't stay fit. Yeah, they definitely need changes there, but the biggest problem is the style of play. It changed, and it wasn't working. That's what causes the issue. You see when they go back to the way they used to play, the results start coming again as they go. As they've tried to revert back to the way they play, we've gone back more to a Klopp team. Gradually, we've been reverting back to it, and the results have been improving. It makes a huge
Yeah, but
difference.
next week, I wouldn't be surprised to see Liverpool go back to the slow,
Oh
boring
God,
Liverpool again.
I hope not.
No, but that's happened before as well.
Yeah,
I think it's a watershed moment for Klopp because it was 7-0. If it was 2-0, playing the same that they did, or let's say it was a 3-0 or 3-1, whatever, a much more like normal looking result, then maybe it would be like, okay, it was a big game, players turned up, we played better, okay. But 7-0 just proves like if things go your way, then it's still unplayable.
exactly. That's the thing. I think people are being a bit harsh on Man United. They're forgetting how good this Liverpool team is when they play at their best, and that's what happened. They turned up and played at their best, did the best system, the best tactics to suit that system. You know what I mean? It's of course they're gonna roll over. United are still a team in progress. Liverpool are a team
Yeah, and like
that's
everything worked. I've said, like I've repeated this many times. Everything went in their favor for that 10-15 minutes after the break. It can happen to the best of the teams. It can happen to the worst of the teams. There have been games where Liverpool have played very well for 15-20 minutes and came out 1-0 behind.
yeah regularly happens in football that teams do that. But that's why you need to play a way that gets the best out of your team, out of the players you've got. And finally, it looks like we're doing that. Yeah, so, anyways, I think we should move on from this because there's not really, I mean, that's, what else can you say about a game like that? It's
Oh, maybe we should talk about Vegas touching the this is Anfield side.
of course,
Why?
yes. I knew there was
Why
something
is it
else. I
an
was just
issue?
looking for.
Come on.
Is it that big an issue?
I don't know. Would it be no? Would it be like his doing had we won the game? Let's say.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say that. It's only because you lost. It's an issue. Let's be honest.
No, it was an issue only the day after because someone realized, oh, this is something that doesn't happen. My ass.
But
It's
United,
just a sign. No, I'll be like hand on heart. Like if I'm being honest, if I walked through the Anfield corridor, I would probably end up touching it.
it's one of
And
those
and
things.
I'm not even a Liverpool supporter.
It's one of those things. It's just it's iconic, and there's not another club that's got a similar. The way you don't talk about touching a Man United side as you go out, do you? You don't have that
We don't
anywhere
have
else.
that sign.
No.
We don't even have that sign.
Well, obviously, because the having a "This is Anfield" sign at Old Trafford would be a bit weird, but yeah.
Not even like this is
Yeah,
Liverpool.
you
We
don't
don't
have
have
an
a
Old
like.
Trafford sign or
Yeah.
anything. No, that's what I mean. It's just so it's a one-off. He might never get the chance to play at Anfield again. Does it really matter? If you won, nobody cares. If you draw, nobody cares. It's only because you lost. It's as simple as that. And people are looking for things to take away from the fact that you lost so heavily, trying to change the subject. That's what it seems to me.
No, they're like I think it's just like people are looking for a scapegoat. Like they're looking for one guy to blame it all on so that you drop this guy and then that is the result and oh no, I think it was a collective shit show.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't
That
his
is
fault.
why I have not singled anyone out as being good or bad. I actually have one player in mind who I've like finally like agreed with everyone else, and I've actually realized why that player is not as good as his hype is. But I'm not gonna. I'm gonna save it for some other time.
No, I
There's no
think you
point
can say
singling
that.
anyone out.
No, not for that. I mean, obviously you're talking about in general rather than just from that game. So who's that you're talking about? I'm just gonna.
I think like the one player who has hardly been criticized but actually looked like useless is Varane.
Hmm.
And I'm no, that is
Hmm.
because Martinez had a bad game, but Varane was nowhere to ever like support him. Like
Yeah.
if Martinez got beat, he was nowhere around
Yeah.
to help
Where's
him out.
Varane? He's nowhere.
Yeah,
But I've been saying that throughout his career. That's the way he plays.
and like watching that game,
So
what I realized is Varane is a very good partner to have when you're having a good game. Like
yes.
he's like a mirror. If you're having a good game, then he'll be available for you to pass. He can like if he's out of position, you can just give him us out, and he's very quick to get back
Hmm.
because of his recovery pace and all. But he's actually not so like
He's not got good positioning. He's not a great defender. Let's be honest. He's a
he's a great
decent.
no, he's a great player. He's a very good he's a very accomplished player, but he's not your leader of the back line.
I'm not even sure he's that accomplished myself. I think he's a very average defender who's just been lucky
No,
to
he's
play in great teams.
no. What I realize is if you're having a good game, then he's alongside him, then he's gonna have a very good game
Hmm.
because like him not being there to cover you doesn't get exposed. If Martinez takes the ball away from Salah, for example, then you won't have to like focus on Varane and say like, oh, where is he to cover
Yeah.
him up? But if Martinez gets beat, then you're like,
Yeah.
where
Where
is
the
his
hell is
partner?
he? Yeah. Yeah, but that's his career, isn't it? That's what I mean by he's always been like that for me. I think in his entire career at Real Madrid was the same. He was always found wanting whenever City they got exposed, but it's just Real Madrid so rarely got exposed, so he never really had to be called upon as a great defender. And I think it's the same at Man United. It's rare he's having to be a great defender because usually the midfield shut up, shut out most of the attacks in front of him, and Martinez alongside him covers well. So,
I guess we will come back to Manchester United when
another,
we talk about Spurs
yeah.
later on because there's a connection.
What do you want to do that next?
Maybe just let's just like do Spurs. We get back to Man United and then we move on
Yeah.
because Spurs now got knocked out last night from the Champions League. So that's I guess that's normal for Spurs fan, but yet another season without a trophy. But then there's the what's his name? Antonio Conte, elephant in the room. What do you do with him?
He come out and said, he come out and said, what was I going to say? He come out and said basically, he wouldn't be surprised if he's sacked, right? I mean, that's basically what he's saying. Maybe they'll send me
Yeah,
away
that was
early. That's it. And still, he's got too much of a mouth on him. He's disruptive. But anybody that Richarlison criticises, I tend to take their side. I've got to say. just
no,
kidding
no,
with
but
Bodyman.
no, but no. Without like all jokes aside, if you're not gonna win anything,
Hmm. Yeah,
then
it's
is there
pointless.
any point in having Conte?
No, it's pointless. His wages are too high, and his disruptive
His
influence around
antics,
the club, yeah, too much.
no, his antics, just like with Jose Mourinho. When you're winning, there, it looks charming, but the moment you stop winning, it's just like
Yeah,
horrendous. Even as a
agreed.
supporter of your own club, if you're
Yeah,
winning, then like I've always said, like it's always easy to say like, oh, we want to play good football and all, but as a fan, ultimately, what gives you the most pleasure is seeing your team lift the trophy.
exactly. Yeah, and he's not going to win anything. And with Paratici gone for a while, supposedly, whether he actually has or not, it doesn't seem to have changed anything there. But yeah, with him, I can't see the need for Conte anymore anyway.
Yeah, and like he has health problems as well. His contract is coming up in the summer, if I'm
Hmm.
not mistaken. Should Tottenham re-up him?
No, I think he's got to go, hasn't he?
Okay.
None of the Tottenham fans are that happy with him. They don't like the football that's played. They don't like him. They don't like.
And it's not a like hot take to say like Tottenham probably won't even get Champions League football next season unless there's an upturn in form.
They're still top four, though. I was just about to say. I mean,
Yeah,
this is
but
the thing. This
they've
is
played one
the
more game.
amazing thing. They're still, they could still make the top four. In which case, you're gonna look a bit stupid sacking him, aren't you? I don't know. It's
No, right now it's there is I don't think there's much point sacking him.
yeah, you let him go in the summer, I think, if need be. But that goal
Yeah, but
difference.
realistically, no, but realistically, if Liverpool were to win the game in hand, or if Newcastle were to win their two games in hand,
Hmm.
and I know
Yeah,
you'd
good
much
point.
rather be 3 points ahead than have one game in hand. You never know what that game looks like, but there is a chance, like there is a real chance that Tottenham aren't actually gonna be in top four if
Yeah,
all the games are played.
yeah, that's true. That's a fair point.
There's a difference. Like with Man United, I think we're 7 points clear with the same
Brighton
number
have
of
got
games as you
three
guys, right?
games in hand over him as well, and
Yeah, like there are teams. Yeah, they're only 6 points behind, 7 points behind.
yeah, seven. So yeah, so there's a an actual distinct possibility they could end up in seventh. Wow.
No, seventh may be like too much, but there is a chance at least one of those three teams can catch up to them when they're done with their games in hand. So
You would expect at least one of them to do so, yeah. I think so.
yeah, so there is a real chance that Tottenham don't. even get Champions League football next season. And then that brings to my next question: Harry Kane.
Hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, there's gonna be like 1 year left on his contract in the summer. No Champions League football for him. You don't know who the next manager is gonna be. As Harry Kane, what is there for you to like keep you there?
Well, only the fact that Levy won't sell. That's the only reason he's there now. Let's be honest.
No, but
Otherwise,
in the summer, there's gonna be only 1 year left on his deal.
yeah, if you're Levy, you've got to
Can
start thinking
Tottenham,
about
can
selling.
Levy, yeah, can Tottenham, can Daniel Levy take the chance and say we're gonna? Is Harry Kane worth more to them for a season than he would realistically get for selling him?
And he's at the age now where he's that for himself. He's surely got to take the move, hasn't he, for his
Yeah,
personal.
he'll be 30 by the time next season starts. In the summer,
Exactly,
he turns 30.
exactly. You've got to go, haven't you? If you're him, I mean, you've got to look to move. Well, he's already tried, but I mean, this time with his contract running out, surely it's got to be the right time. So it's best for everyone in this case, I think. You know, for Spears, they're not going to get a better chance to get rid of, to get money from him.
And you're still realistically gonna get somewhere around 100 million for him.
Potentially, you could get a huge fee, but I mean, they're a very odd club. Spurs. They act like they're title contenders. They talk like they're title contenders, but they never actually show any sign of ever being a contender for any kind of trophy. It's bizarre. And the worry is, if you let Kane go, are you then saying, basically, are you then giving up on, you say, admitting you're never going to be a challenger for the trophy?
Oh, you never know.
That's
You
that's
never know. It's more like who can you get in to replace him, and who is the next manager they can get
mm.
in.
Do you
There's
not
gonna be a bit of movement.
do you not think their problem is they're still they're still they're still thinking about what happened when Bale went, and that's why they held on to him when they should have taken the money when City were trying to buy him. But they were so worried that last time they messed up, and bueno, what they brought in was dross when they sold Bale, and so they suffered badly and went backwards from selling Bale. Do you not think that's still weighing on people's minds at Spears, and they're still looking at that and going, yeah, but
No, but that is for that kind of thing is for fans to worry about. If as the people in charge of recruitment, if those are the things that worry you, then maybe you're not in the right job.
exactly what I was thinking. You've got to be, you should be wetting your lips at the thought of having 100 million to spend, potentially. Shouldn't you? You
No,
should be thinking,
if you're a if you're a scout, if you're a head of recruitment, in a way you should be relishing the challenge
hmm,
that you get to replace Harry Kane.
oh yeah, definitely. It should be a bit, it should be a chance to prove yourself. That's how I'd be
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at it.
Right now, if you're buying for Tottenham, you would be buying players to supplement when Harry Kane is out of the team or when Son isn't playing well. But if you have to rejuvenate the team, then it's in a way it's your chance to sign as the
Hmm,
scouts, as the recruitment team. That is
exactly.
where you actually prove your worth. Right now, if Spurs were to go on and win something, which they want, it would be Harry Kane winning it for the team.
Hmm,
Nobody, no
yeah,
one else is gonna get the sign.
yeah. It is
But
very much Harry Kane
I
FC.
think it's gonna be a very fun summer to look out for because realistically, we're gonna get new orders and we're already in transition anyways. Liverpool need a little bit of a reshuffle. So do actually even Man City as well. They need a bit of a reshuffle.
Yeah, they don't look right, do they, this season?
And they also like I've like it's only been like few months I've realized, but their team is also a bit aging away.
Hmm.
And then there's Chelsea, who I don't know what to say about Chelsea
I think if they keep
and Tottenham.
hold of Potter, surely they're going to be a stronger side next season.
No, but I don't know whether they're
Don't
in
you?
transition. They're in whatever land they are. They're in an island of their own.
Well, I mean,
And
the
then
new
Tottenham.
ownership, it's a mess where they're buying players for
Yeah,
the
no,
sake of
they're in
buying
an
them.
island of mess.
Yeah, but
And then
you
there's
got to think they'll
Tottenham.
settle down and improve once they've got, after a couple of seasons, they'll just
No,
gradually get stronger.
there isn't much more room to like go down for them now. Uh,
True.
and
But
then
you think,
Tottenham again. They're realistically gonna need a new manager. Probably gonna lose their main player, Harry Kane. They actually should also look at a keeper, long-term Glorious replacement.
Chelsea desperately need a keeper as well?
No, but like just for the stat notes, I read somewhere that Allison has about like I don't know like 10 goals in his favor. Like he's saved 10 more goals than he should. I don't know how they go get those
Oh, the
metrics and
XG
then
thing, yeah.
yeah, actually I don't know how it works, but and then I think number two is Kepa. I think Kepa has saved the next most highest number of goals.
Really?
He's at least in the top three. That
Chocolate
is what I
rich.
heard. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. I find that hard to believe. I don't know how they, but XG is subjective rather than objective anyway. So it's difficult. A lot of these stats are. This is the problem with them is um they're not actually based on pure facts. You know what I mean? A lot of it is
No,
subjective
I don't
because you have to
understand how it
decide
no. I
how
don't
good a
understand how
chance
it
it is.
works, but listen, like there like just as a Liverpool supporter then okay. Just remember so many of those Steven Gerrard goals, right?
Hmm.
He's like thunderbolts from outside the box, 30 yards out, 35 yards out, whatever. If the XG thing existed back then wouldn't it count against the keeper because he didn't save
Yeah,
a
exactly.
chance that was like
That wasn't a
maybe
good
like
chance.
like almost 0% chance?
Yeah.
But
Frank
in
Lampard's
real
goals again
yeah,
as well.
but in realistic terms, those are unsavable goals, right?
Hmm.
Instead of like letting a non-goal go in, it's more like
I don't know that they'd be classed as savable because a lot of them were like ones that
no, but
would be seen as
on the
very
yeah
difficult
on
for a
but on the
goalkeeper.
XG
But the
yeah on the
XG, they
XG mark
wouldn't be coming up as in, they wouldn't be, XG wouldn't say they'd expect a goal from there. That's the thing, it's odd.
yeah, but like XG would say it they don't expect a goal from there, so you would think like conceding that goal would be a negative for you, but in real time, it's like you have no chance of actually saving that goal.
But that's what I'm saying, it's a subjective thing because like it depends on how they work it. Usually what happens is with XG, I was reading up about it the other day. It's each club has their own usually and they look at it and they set their own what's good and bad. So
Parameters.
yeah, their own parameters of what's a good chance and what isn't and things like that. It's like so you can't. That's why there's it's so subjective. It's just a useless stat for me. It's one of those that's impossible to. I think with the chance, I think when they're saying about the what they're saying is they're looking at it and going, he's made a save where you'd expect him not to. But how can you tell what's another person like Billy thinks that Pickford's made saves that nobody should be making. He thinks Pickford's making world class saves, whereas most people like that. Most people
No,
wouldn't
no,
say
no.
he
Let's just
should be
say it as
making
it
those
is.
saves, but he's been
Okay.
caught out of position, and so he's made them look good, rather than they're that difficult but they might come
No,
up
and
in
then there
this
is
kind of thing.
Matrix, and then there is me who thinks like when Pickford is conceding a goal, and I will think like I think De Gea stops it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's a lot of that, and that's where. But like Billy, you'll think that De Gea wouldn't have stopped it. That's what I'm saying. It's subjective. It's very difficult, these XG and that, because they're based on somebody watching it and giving it a sign and a value from them, from their head. From they might have they'll have a sheet, what's considered, a difficult chance. They'll have ratings that they're to assign them, but at the end of the day, it's still somebody deciding what they think it is, rather than it's clear and cut. You know what I mean? You can't, if it's if it's like a chance inside the 6 yard box, it's a 1, and if it's outside the 6 yard box, it's 0.5, whatever. It's not like that. It's somebody looking at and going, yeah, that's a definite clear cut chance they should have scored. Well, I mean, surely XG should vary anyway, depending on the goalkeeper in the goal. If you've got the best goalkeeper in the world, there's a better chance. There's more chance. If you're up against Alisson 1-on-1, your XG surely should be lower because it's a more difficult chance. Than like if you're up against someone like me in goal.
No, I also think like if if you take a shot at goal, and if the keeper is De Gea and the ball is near to the keeper's legs, then it's a more likely chance that De Gea saves it than let's say Ramsdale does,
Or
because
Simon
Ramsdale is
Mignolet.
gonna. Yeah, and because okay, Mignolet is a very good example because Mignolet would remove his foot, take it away from the ball as much as possible, and try and save it with his hand,
Yeah,
while De Gea would just stick his leg out and save the ball.
exactly. So how do you, and on XG that isn't taken into account because they just, they can't really, and it's understandable they can't. But that should be part of it, surely. For me, it should be anyway, to make it a
Oh, and
worthwhile.
like since I mentioned De Gea's legs, for a keeper who is like said to be so horrible with the ball at his feet, how did he end up developing this saving with his feet? For
It
shot,
is,
come on,
it is bizarre,
it's
isn't it?
weird.
It is. You think
No, if
he
yeah,
can't
if
be
you
good with
say
his
like
feet?
Allison is a good keeper at saving the ball with his feet, you will think like, oh, probably because he's very well versed in playing the
Mm.
ball with his feet, probably does a lot of rondos and all those things.
And he rushes out. He's quick to come out and sweep up and all that. So his feet are good. De Gea's got quick feet and all that, but if the ball's coming in over the top, he's not going to rush out and try and clean it, sweep
He's
it
an
up.
anomaly, right?
It's weird, yeah. Yeah, exactly. How would you take that in statistical analysis? You've got to. These anomalies can happen.
Yeah, but how did I change the topic from Harry Kane to Man United to?
Because Harry Kane. Because Harry Kane's a target for Man United, so you mentioned
No, no,
that's why
but
we were
how
going to
did I
discuss
get?
him.
But how did we get to like expected goals and all?
Oh, it's
Anyways, like I actually
we
wanted
never
to
stick
ask.
to the
I
subject.
actually wanted to ask you, like, should Man United go for Harry Kane, and should Harry Kane go to Man United, knowing that we're still a work in progress?
Hmm. But what are the options out there for him? He's got Bayern Munich, clearly interested. They made it clear, they're actually blatantly come out and said they're interested and made bids for him. So I can see that he'd win trophies. That makes a lot of sense. Bayern Munich, obviously.
Yeah, but just sticking to Man United, from both
Yeah,
point
but
of view, from for the club and
Yeah, but
also for
I'm
him.
I'm trying to think of the Harry Kane point of view first. Sorry, I was going through the Harry Kane. I was thinking, what are the options? Because obviously, your first thing is before you say that's a good thing. Yeah, I definitely moved. It would, is it a good thing for him to do? You've got to look at what other options he's got available to him. And basically, you only got Bayern Munich. He's not going to go to Man City. Are done now because they've got Haaland for a couple of seasons. It'll be a season at least, and he's not going to play alongside Haaland, is he? He's not going to play second fiddle to Haaland, so at his age. So I can't see them as a partnership.
He would
Yeah,
be third fiddle. Come on. Realistically, he would be third fiddle because they've already got a second fiddle to Holland. Alvarez.
yeah, that's good, and he's a very good player. Yeah, so you can't see
He's a
any
very
need
good
for him.
player for the way they play.
Yeah, you can't see
Especially for the
any
way
need
they
for
play.
him at City. So they're out. So basically, his choices really are coming down to Man United and Bayern Munich now, aren't they? I mean, who else could? Maybe Real Madrid, possibly, if Benzema when
No, but
Benzema goes. But
no, but for Real Madrid, it's Mbappe and Holland ahead of him. I'm saying like ahead of him.
yeah,
Still,
yeah, I, I, I think to United for him to go to United makes a lot of sense. He's actually got a chance of winning something there at United because they will put everything at challenging for trophies, which Spurs don't really, do they?
if nothing else, he can hopefully win a League Cup. And I'm only half joking
Yeah, well that's what I mean. You know,
because
there's at
his
least,
first haven't even won that.
but you're
At
not.
least there's a chance he might.
I think you put him in a United team. I think he's yeah. I think they go for all four trophies. That's what I was trying to say. So he's got a chance. Whereas Spurs, they don't really go for any of them, do they? They're never going to challenge for the title. They're never going to challenge. They go for the, but they're half-assed because they just don't seem to actually challenge. See,
Has he even played a single like a cup final in either the League Cup or FA Cup?
I don't think he has. I think the only cup finals he's played is the Champions League.
Yeah, but that's a horrendous stat for Spurs if they've never like played a single cup domestic cup final since Harry Kane's debut. Because for a period of time, like some people like still go on about this Spurs team from 16-17, like the Pochettino heyday
Mm.
as being a very good team, and not
Not
even like that's a horrendous thing. The horrendous stat, if that is true, off the top of my head,
yeah, I
not
can't
played
think
a
of one.
single. Because like I know, like Spurs have won the League Cup in the mid 2000s,
Yeah, I think so.
but from my memory, like I've never actually seen Spurs win a single trophy.
Well, I got
Because
one with them, but
since I started watching football, they've hardly played finals, let alone look like winning anything.
no, they've fallen. They used to be a great cup side, but struggled in the league. But now they're just no.
And in that time period, I've seen Birmingham play cup finals. Did they even win it, right? Swansea, Wigan, Watford have played a cup final, man. It should have happened for them by
Yeah,
now.
you've got to be going for them. And Spurs, to me, they just don't go for them.
No, they hardly look like challenging for the domestic cups. So I guess at least, if nothing else, he's realistically at least gonna challenge for the domestic cups if you were to join United. But from Man United's point of view, do you think it's a good move to pursue?
Yeah, I think for Man United, I think for him, it's the right. Man United's probably the best possible move. Bayern
Best
maybe.
realistic move?
Yeah, it's you or Bayern basically. I think is the most realistic options, and hey, do you know what? I can see why you maybe Bayern. But like yeah, I can see either would be. Both of them be good options for him. So whichever was offering the best all-round package, I think would be the one that'd get him out of those two. The question is he suited to Man United? I'm not sure. I really am not sure on that.
And I'm also like concerned by the time we as a team start playing good enough, will he be good enough for the team?
And the other thing, yeah, exactly. And the other thing is, he's very petulant. He goes into nasty challenges a lot. You know what I mean. He throws his toys out of pram. He can get away with that at Spurs because they don't, you know, he gets away with it at Spurs because Spurs are the FA's favourite team, and you can get away with it. But if he moved somewhere else, would he still get the same leeway, or would he spend half a season banned? I think he'd spend half a season banned myself. No, he'd
Oh no,
pick up
he won't.
booking
He's
after
the England.
booking and
He's
red
the England
cards.
captain. He's the England
Ah,
captain. He's gonna get away with it. But
you make a good
but
point there.
my yeah, like my concern always when we talk about Harry Kane moving to a coach who demands certain things from his forward, would Harry Kane be able to play at his best twice a week for 3 months in a row?
No, that's the thing. He'd be out injured as well.
That's my concern if he were to join us because like virtually almost ever since the World Cup restart after the World Cup, we played 2 games a week. Like we on a normal schedule we played 3 games in 8 days back to back. Would he last? Would he last
No, I know people
that
are
schedule?
saying he hasn't had as many injuries lately, but Spurs have not. You know, Spurs aren't picking him every game. You know, they're not playing the same style of football where it's putting pressure on him to run about a lot. He's playing he's playing a lot of the time. He's able to just drop off and more like, play a more controlled game and not have to do so much of the legwork. Like if he was playing for Liverpool, he'd be sorry, Man United. Sorry, that's because somebody was talking about Liverpool on the chat. If he was playing for Man United, Ten Hag expects his forwards to do a bit more work than he does at Spurs, and I just can't see him lasting to do that 3 times a week or twice a week
Yeah,
every week.
we played Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday, like
Hmm.
on a regular basis this past month. So that is something else you have to take into consideration when you're spending 100 odd million on me.
Yeah, I think he's just too expensive and his wages are too high. It is, the ankles aren't going to get any better. His age, there's so many reasons to avoid him. But the wages, but I like it for Man United. They can probably afford him, and so yeah, I could see why he'd fit United. If I was talking about someone like Arsenal, Liverpool, I think he's an avoid at all costs. But if you're talking about Man United, you desperately need a striker. So yeah, I can see it. It'd be like Chelsea if they didn't have Nkunku coming in, saying they should be looking at him, but I just don't see them
No,
needing
I'm
him.
just I'm just concerned. I'm just concerned if we're actually gonna get the best use of Harry Kane when the best Man United under Ten Hag actually starts showing its
Yeah, it might be too.
interest.
I don't know. I mean, he might be all right for a few. He might be a bit like Lewandowski and carry on for a few more years. Yeah, but I think
Yeah,
he
but
could
he could also be like Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, or Torres and be finished.
Yeah, or Higuain, like so many good players, but virtually useless by the time they're 33.
Hmm.
Or at least a shadow of the player they are. Let's not say
Yeah,
useless, but
yeah. I wouldn't be wanting if it wasn't for the fact that you desperately need a striker. He wouldn't be the one I'd be chasing anyway if I was Man United. Let's put it that way.
no, I was like basically like just going through the rumors and all those things and thinking realistically. I was basically thinking, would we be better off with someone like Harry Kane? A finished article was just,
No, I
you
think you
know
need
what?
someone to grow with the
Yeah,
team.
and I was thinking, Harry Kane or for example Jonathan David, who would be
Mm,
better suited to the team,
I think you'd be better with
both
David.
in terms of playing, like both in terms of playing style and also, like you said, grow with the team.
Mm. Yeah, I
And I
think
was
that's.
thinking like a David or a Colomwani
Mm.
or someone like that would be much better.
Yeah, I agree. Somebody, because Zach on the chat, that's why, sorry, I got a bit distracted then. That's why I mentioned Liverpool. He said he thinks that if Kane went to Liverpool, Liverpool win the league. And I don't see it. I don't see where he fits at Liverpool. He can't do the pressing.
Oh come on! You don't have the you don't have the need for him. You have
Exactly. And that's the
Nunez
biggest
and
thing. Is why would you
Gakpo.
play him? Why would you want to replace? Well, he wouldn't. You know,
Who would he
they've only
replace?
just they've only just started to link up, and he's wanted to start. I don't understand. That's what I was saying. It'd be stupidity to move for him. You'd be paying what 100 million probably close to buy him, and then you're paying him probably £400,000 a week. I don't see that any reason to do that. It just doesn't suit
There's no
Liverpool's style
point.
of play
There's no
even.
point. Maybe if you hadn't signed Nunez in the summer and Firmino was leaving, then maybe you could think,
And Gakpo
okay,
hadn't come in. Sorry, Gakpo hadn't come in
Gakpo.
as well. Yeah, if you hadn't signed, but we've signed those two. You don't. No, Liverpool
Oh,
need to
by
be
the
getting
way,
rid, not
like
bringing in.
it would be remiss of me to not say it, but two very good
Oh,
finishes from Gakpo.
yeah. Yeah, I thought you would. I thought you'd be there to,
Gakpo,
especially as Nunes and Gakpo. I just thought, two
Gakpo
goals
was
each, and
no,
both
but
of
it
them
was very
could
good
have been at
goals.
Man United. If
No,
instead of
that was
Liverpool, it was just like you must sit there though when you're Ten Hag. You must be sat there watching it, thinking, "You bastards, you must
no,
do."
but I was thinking like, okay, like last week I thought I should have mentioned it last week, but I something and other everything is just too meant I didn't get the chance. But I was like, someone was profiling the type of striker that would be ideal for Ten Hag.
Hmm.
A pacey forward who can like play, like who can move around, a much more fluid forward. Someone who can play off the right, off the left, like can press, can hold up the ball, has size as well, and then like, is decent in the air, good with the ball at his feet and everything. And I was thinking, oh yeah, that is basically what Darwin Núñez is.
Or Gakpo.
I don't know about Hakpo, but Darwin Núñez is like
Yeah, yeah.
that is
You can see
basically
why.
describing Darwin Núñez.
You can see why
You could see
United.
why we were actually interested in him.
Yeah, and fortunately, that's why Liverpool went and bought him.
On paper, like he's almost a complete forward.
I love him. I've got to be honest. Love him.
No,
Absolutely.
he's very fun to watch as well.
Oh, it's
Sometimes
brilliant.
he's unpredictable for his own demise, but it's so fun to watch. And it's really like when it goes good for him, it's so fun to watch. And because it's so fun to watch, it's always fun when it's not going good for him as well.
Yeah, he is one of those players you just love to watch. You could sit and watch him. There's very few of them players about these days. It's got to be said. So many are just. I mean, you get like. I don't want to mention Bruno
Yeah, but if
Fernandes. I'm
like
trying to think of somebody. When they go, I mean, when it's gone bad, it's not enjoyable to watch him. Jack Grealish is another one where they're just throwing themselves around. It's not enjoyable watching them play unless they're on your team. They just frustrate you and you dislike them. You can't help but dislike them, can you?
no, like when I see Darwin Núñez have a bad moment, I laugh. When I see Bruno or Diego Costa, for example, have a bad moment, it makes you angry. That's the difference. You'd rather laugh at someone having a bad moment than get angry.
Hmm. Yeah,
Because ultimately, it's a football is escape.
yeah, it's an entertainment. It should be entertainment,
Yeah.
and he's entertaining. And that's why I love him. I've got to say, it's like Firmino with his no look passes and stuff. He's just great entertainment. Um, I'll miss. I'll certainly miss Firmino. I was so glad he came on and scored just after.
Maybe we can be a bit cheeky and go after Firmino. I know
I
he
really
probably wouldn't
no.
accept it, even for crazy money, but still, it would be funny.
Yeah.
And in a way, he would like. It's a bit too old, I guess, but
Hmm.
he is almost a perfect Ten Hag forward as well.
Yeah, see, he would be very suited at his best. He would be very suited. You're right. But
And like back to Harry Kane, if you're gonna spend 100 odd million on a centre forward, then at least go for Osimhen, if nothing else. If you can't be creative, go
hmm.
for the more obvious choice.
Yeah, I'm still.
And he's
I
come
mean,
out,
Osimhen.
and midweek he came out in an interview and said like it's his dream to play Premier League football, and he's
Mm.
been working all this time to get a move to Premier League.
I was just gonna say the other thing I was gonna say is people always say about a Napoli, oh, you wouldn't want to deal with him, but the thing that the fans hate about their owner is the fact that he's always willing to sell their best players if people will offer the money. So I don't understand this thing about they're difficult to deal with. If the money's good, he'll sell anyone. What's his name? De Laurentiis. And I
Yeah,
think
Aurelio
if you're
De
paying
Laurentiis.
if you're paying 100 million or so for a striker right now, you've got to be looking at him, haven't you? I mean, he's got to be top of the list if you're going to be paying big money right now. If you're going to say we're going to go out and get the best striker right now, that's the one you've got to be going for, isn't it? You're not going to get Erling Haaland, for example, but again, I don't see him as suited to a 10-hour team either. It's just the same as
I
he's
was
not
gonna
suited.
I was gonna suggest my boy, but he's been off the boil for a few months now.
Flyovic, yeah,
Yeah,
what's happened to
I
him?
don't. He got injured before the World Cup, and
Mm,
he's not. I don't know whether it's the injury, it's the whole circus around him
I was going to
during the
say
World Cup,
that it's not just around
the
him at the World
controversy.
Cup. Since there's been quite a few personal things coming out, hasn't there?
It's amongst many other things, just back to football as well. It's apparently like he doesn't enjoy Italian football. He doesn't enjoy Italy.
Mm, that's understandable. I mean, Juventus isn't a good place to be at either at the moment, is it? He's certainly he's got to be sold in the summer, hasn't he? So maybe he could be a good option. He's certainly got the ability. Would you take him over Kane if all
Yeah,
forgetting the money?
obviously.
No, I'm saying forgetting the money aside. If they were to like both 23, say, and
Who?
Kane and him, who would you take?
Kane at 23 years, and you're saying like Harry Kane, 29 years old, about to turn 30 versus Vlahovic, or
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you said Kane was 20, the same age as Vlahovic.
oh, Kane.
Hmm.
Because I know what Kane has done
Yeah,
from the age of 23 to
good
29.
point. Good point. Yeah, yeah. It's a silly question really, because you'd have to
Yeah.
be stupid not to, because he's
No, but
so.
in the summer, like, no, but in the summer, if you ask me, both players are attainable, Kane and Vlahovic. I'm not saying both players cost the same, but the club can afford to go for either one. Then I'm gonna suggest Vlahovic.
I think I would as well, man. I'd actually forgotten about him when we were talking about whether United should go for Kane, and I think yeah, you've got to go for. Oh, what have we got in terms of for European football and for the Premier League? What have you got in terms of homegrown players and that? Because at least Kane would fit into that category.
No, but without going too much into it, like as a Man United fan, you always tailor to think if it's homegrown players, you've got enough players.
Hmm. Yeah, I
I
don't.
think we've got Shaw in the team. And then the likes of McTominay, Rashford. Wan Bissaka is English.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom Heaton and Bottom. That is why we've got English keepers.
Mm. Yeah, I was
That is
just,
one way to get around it.
but I was just thinking, maybe that's a reason to pick Kane over Vlahovic if all things being equal. You might.
No, come on, get out of here.
I wouldn't, but sometimes you might have to do so, just because, like, you've already got a full squad of.
That is always the wrong way to do it. If you're gonna consider one player above the other to be in the team, then you have to look at squad players. If you
Mm,
not first team players, for first team players you cannot make concessions like that.
no, I'm with you on that. I fully agree with you. I was just trying to play
No,
devil's advocate. Anyway, should we move on to PSG? I think we should. Did we? We haven't done that yet, have we?
yeah, I think that no. Let's just say Arsenal are gonna win the Premier League. It's done and dusted. No
Do you
need to
think so?
argue. No,
Okay.
I don't think so, but it's every week one less game and three more points. That's the thing for them. They were losing 2-0 to Bournemouth. What the with the
I
last kick with the virtual last kick of the game.
Yeah, they just played until they scored, basically, didn't they? Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean that kind of luck. Yeah, is the luck of champions. But like I said, they've still got to play in Europe on a Thursday, so
Yeah, but
I think it's.
they can just be in the competition if they
Mm,
want.
well, I think only time will tell whether they can cope with both, but I
Well,
that does worry me.
they're leading by one goal in the Europa League.
Are they?
But it's a catch. Yeah, they're playing right now.
Yeah, I know.
It's about 30 minutes. Yeah, but it's a catch 22 in a way because if you say like the next game isn't important and then
Oh,
maybe maybe there's a how do we call it like a negative impact on the team.
hmm.
Maybe like I'm a believer like winning is a habit.
I'm fully with. That's what I mean. If they go out, it could affect them. That's what I was trying to say. It's what I was trying to. The point I was trying to make is, if they go out, it might affect them confidence-wise. It's a defeat might knock them just at a time when they need to keep rolling on and keep winning. But keep winning, and the legs could get tired and they could stumble and lose a few points that way. So they're in a difficult position right now, I
Yeah,
think.
it's a balancing act, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
if you lose, then does that have a negative impact on the team? But if you win and then there's again another game and then there's again
exactly.
another game and another game. Like we said, like maybe for Man United it was like one game too many, right?
Mm,
Maybe it's just like we played too many games back to back to back without much rest. Maybe something similar can happen with Arsenal as well if they like go deep into the competition.
yeah, because their squad's not the strongest because they've lost a lot. They've shed a lot of players,
And
paring
also like
things
I
down.
think yeah, and also I think like the deeper you go into the competition, the harder the loss becomes for the players as well.
Oh yeah, you certainly do feel it more. Like you've seen Liverpool looked absolutely shell-shocked from losing the final. Like it can destroy you mentally if you lose it at the last hurdle rather than early on. It's a really tough one for them because they need to keep winning and keep going and just keep rolling on. But at the same time, they could do with a break, rest their legs and that.
Yeah, and just checking the team, there's a little bit of rotation for Arsenal.
Hmm.
There's Turner in goal, Kiwior, the young centre back, is starting. Fabio Vieira starts, and Nelson gets a start.
Yeah, he deserved one though, didn't he?
A rest for Partey. Thomas Partey is rested on the bench.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it's hard. Like that is how you earn the money, I guess. If
It,
it was so easy, then I'd be doing the same job as well.
yeah, and earning millions doing it. Yeah, you need it to pay for your house, though, don't you? But anyway, should we move on to PSG?
Yeah,
Um,
PSG.
yeah, I mean,
How
when
many how many more defeats can PSG take in the Champions League before the whole project goes up in flames?
they,
One more season without the coveted Champions League.
do you not think they've already started to rip it down and start again with the appointment of Luis Campos and Christophe
Galtier.
Galtier rather than just going for the biggest names? Though that is more at the behest of Mbappe than.
Yeah, but how many more seasons are they gonna get from Mbappe before he finally calls it quit?
Yeah, before he says, "Oh, this is pointless. I'm not going to get the Champions League here, and I want to win a Champions League." Because if I don't win a Champions
Because that
League,
is the only thing that's
Ballon d'Or.
remaining.
Yeah, then the Ballon d'Or is partly it's
But
as well. That's
even outside of Ballon d'Or, that's just the only trophy he needs in
mm,
his like collection. Like
yeah,
if let's say if PSG were to win the now they're already out of it. If they were to have won the Champions League this season, then he would have like won the cups, won the World Cup as well, won the
mm,
league, won the Champions League. He basically have completed football in terms of trophies to win.
yeah. Yeah, he's good. They've got to do something, but I mean, they tried to sell Mbappe.
Not
They
Mbappe,
tried to
Neymar.
Neymar in the summer, and they couldn't get rid of him because his wages are too high. So I think they've got to. Surely that's made them realise that the way they're doing it isn't going to work, and they need to be looking at building a team rather than a bunch of individuals.
Oh,
I
I
think they're
think
already started that, and that's why Campos and Thingy come in. Gaultier.
I think it's like I think they're just stuck with Neymar.
Hmm.
The only hope they can have is like either one of the new owners coming in at Liverpool or Man United or any other club for that matter, any other big club, as the same kind of open
Bowley
purse.
effect.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, the bully approach to the dealings.
Yeah.
Yes, even Chelsea. I think even Chelsea are now out of the picture for Neymar realistically because where are they gonna play him? And if he plays, then where are they gonna play the multitudes of attackers you've signed?
Well, they've already offered him and decided against him, so clearly they're not going to go for him. I don't really see where Neymar can go from except back to Barcelona, who can't afford him. Can't see him going to Real Madrid. They don't want him.
They
Italy,
don't need him
yeah,
actually. Not
that's
even
true.
just one. They don't need him at all.
Don't need or want him then, I should have said, shouldn't I? You're right. It's a very good point. Italian football, is there anybody there who can afford him?
There is no money.
Yeah,
There is
exactly.
no
No
money.
one. So
The only thing that
basically,
would have been able to afford him,
mm,
Juventus, are in the dumpster. So
yeah. So it is English football's his only hope right now, or he decides to go into semi-retirement in the MLS.
or he decides to go to Saudi Arabia.
Oh yes, semi-retirement in Saudi Arabia, etc.
Retirement. There is no
Yeah,
semi-retirement. It's a retirement. Come on.
yeah. Basically, I was trying to be nice. Yeah, that's it. Basically, that's his choice. And what English club would want him? I mean,
Man City, maybe if there is.
Pep won't touch him. Pep won't have him because he doesn't train.
Yeah, but you
Pep's
would have.
Pep's a
Yeah,
stickler for
okay.
players. He wouldn't
I,
have him. I know he's taken Grealish, but Grealish is a hard trainer, even if he is a party animal. Neymar doesn't train properly. He's not a good trainer, and that is a big no-no for Pep. He doesn't like that at all. Uh, the only team, I'm trying. I was going through them. I can't see the only team who could really afford him. Maybe Newcastle. The only other one that's a potential one. And why would they want
And
him?
Newcastle, and why would you want to go to Newcastle, the city as well?
Yeah, it's just it doesn't make any sense, does it?
Like it, whether we like it or not, Neymar is a brand.
Hmm.
I like borderline hate him, but he's a big brand.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was thinking MLS. He'd go some because he's tried to break into acting, hasn't he? He's had a few small roles. Maybe that's Inter Miami or Los Angeles Galaxy, something like that. As their what's the word?
Designated player.
Designated. That's it. Designated player. Yeah. Yeah. I can't see anything else.
He could be the DP, but I can't finish the thought. Not on
I,
air.
I was just I was just thinking. I was just thinking him and Carl
Something
Walker.
else.
Him and Carl Walker would work well together, though, wouldn't they? I was just thinking. Maybe you could.
Hollywood would actually be a good place for Neymar. He would fit right in
Mm, yeah, that's
with
what I was
all those
thinking.
other shady.
Harvey Weinstein's and the like.
So, anyways, what do PSG do, man?
I think they've got to rip it up and start again. I mean, they've got a bunch of Brazilians who are fighting with everyone else. They need to go. A lot of them. Messi's
There
got.
is no buts. There is no buts. I think there's only two left, isn't it? Neymar and Marquinhos. Who else is there?
Who's the other one that's fight? They're fighting with a bunch. Who was it? Hang on.
No, you said Brazilian. I think
Yeah, you might be right.
there's
Might
only
be
two
South
left now.
American. Hang on.
But even South American, they've got rid of Icardi. They've got rid of Paredes, or at least on a loan. I think the one guy who gets along really well with Neymar is Messi.
Yeah, Messi. I was including Messi as in like that's what I was saying. Maybe should said South Americans. Who was the other one I was thinking of? Marquinhos is definitely a problem. Ramos I was thinking of as well as he's a bit of a he's causing problems as well. But I can't see him being there much longer. I think he'll be
His
here for.
contract is up in the summer, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I can't see him being staying.
And they've already got a replacement in as well in Milan Skriniar.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's definitely gone. And Verratti was another one who's been causing, who's a bit of a party animal. They need to be looking. I mean, they brought in some strange signings, Sanchez and that.
1-1.
Their recruitment's odd, isn't it?
Even in the summer, they bought too many central midfielders. That's the thing. But their midfield still looks a bit on the weaker side.
Yeah, I mean Verratti's a brilliant player on his day, but he's just. It looks like he's playing on his own with that team. I mean, it's a mess. They really have got to rip it up and start again. What they should have been doing from the start is looking at their youth system.
No, I think like since we mentioned, like you briefly mentioned Nkunku, right?
Mm.
Moving to Chelsea, what they should have done is, since they were already gonna lose Messi in the summer, unless there was a contract renewal, and they already wanted rid of Neymar, and there is a realistic chance that Mbappe doesn't stick around for much longer. Whether they win the Champions League or they don't win the Champions League, right? If they win the Champions League, Mbappe can say, I've done my job here, I want a new challenge. And if they don't win the Champions League, he can say, like, I've done my best, but I still can't get get it done with you guys. It seems almost undoable with PSG. I want to move on. Either ways, there is a realistic chance that he wants to move on. Then Nkunku could have been the French connection for them, the French poster boy for them, and unlike Mbappe, he actually came through the ranks as well.
Yeah.
Everything was almost perfect for them,
Mm.
and then they showed interest. I think they even had some kind of a clause with him, either a sell on, buyback, first right to match, whatever it is, and then they let Chelsea sign him.
I do think that was a mistake. They should have gone and got him. But like, if they're stuck with Messi, they
Nay,
can't really.
nay.
And
No, but
Neymar, they can't
even
really.
if they speak with Neymar, they could have just said like, "Thank you, Lionel Messi, for the good memories, for the good work you've done for our brand." But let's move on. And there
Mm.
is a chance that he doesn't stay beyond the season, anyways. Who knows? After the exit in the Champions League, he might just say, "I want out," because I don't think he's renewed his contract yet. And all the positive talks can be positive talks, but if it's not done, then it's not done.
It's a real mess. I mean, phew, they've got a real mess to work out, and I think they've got to. I mean, you look at their squad, and it's not that good, is it? When you consider that they've got Hakimi, um, Neymar, Messi, Mbappe. You know what I mean? You think
Even
Verratti,
Donnarumma, for example,
yeah.
there's Verratti, there's Marquinhos. You've got enough pedigree to. It's a mess altogether.
They the problem they've had is all along is it's always been about big names rather than the right players. You know, the signing of Messi was a terrible one. No matter how good he's been for them, you know, people say I just don't see that he suited what they wanted to do.
And since I mentioned Donnarumma, the keeper who replaced him at Milan,
Yeah.
Mike Maignan, if I'm not mistaken, came through PSG's academy as well.
Well, even if he didn't, he's French. He would have been a better signing. You know, they're looking for French players. That's why they're building around. You know, they want to keep.
Mbappe.
Yeah, that's why they want to keep him so badly because they want to build around French players. So why do they keep emptying out their academy of all the good talent? I don't understand it. It's really badly run. It's a money making machine, but not a lot else.
Yeah, PSG. Maignan came through PSG's academy.
Mm,
Or at least they used it.
yeah, yeah, they've got
It's
one
a
hell of a
bizarre
youth
situation.
sector. They have. Fair play. They don't know.
But they, but it's I don't know how much of that is fair play and how much of that is because they're in Paris.
No, a lot of it will be because they're in Paris and it's the only viable team in Paris, really.
Yeah, only viable team in Paris. A lot of and most of the talent is actually from the suburbs and
Mm.
like the outskirts of Paris. Actually,
But yeah, but when you've got that advantage and you're not making
you
use of
should.
it,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. And I know they want to, they're trying to be flash and all that, but surely you've got to at some point you've got to say we need to build a team, not a bunch of individuals. And yeah, or am I missing something? I mean, it's winning. They're winning their league, but it's the fans aren't getting attracted to it because it's too easy. You've got to change something, and first thing you do is you just buy players to suit the need rather than because of their names.
Maybe if PSG want a French attacker, I can I can suggest one. I can suggest one for them.
Anthony Marshall.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought you might say him.
Tony Marshall.
Yeah. They. Do you
You
really?
know what PSG should do? I just remembered. What PSG should do is get rid of Neymar,
Hmm.
get rid of Messi, do everything they can to keep Mbappe, and since he's not gonna renew his contract by the looks of it, go for Portuguese Mbappe as well, Rafa Leao,
Yeah.
and then let's have some fun.
Oh, that would be something to watch, wouldn't it? See, but that'd make sense because he'd be a player that could fit the system and could offer them something that they need if they were getting rid of Messi and Mbappe and Neymar. Put him alongside Mbappe, it'd be brilliant.
Yeah, but there is a chance. There is a chance that Messi doesn't stick around and PSG come calling for a certain Mohamed Salah.
Yeah,
Wasn't he spotted having dinner with Nasser Al Khelaifi, whose own position at PSG is not completely certain, but
yeah, but
that
it's
doesn't stop speculation, does it?
no, it's. I mean, would they Salah if they signed Salah? See, that to me would be the similar thing that we're saying of them already getting wrong now, buying a name rather than a player that suits what they need. Much as Salah is a fantastic player, I
If
just
they if they were to sign Salah, if they were to need a replacement for both Mbappe, sorry, not Mbappe, both Neymar and Messi, they will still come back to a similar situation where they have a bunch of very good attackers, but not a functioning attack, not a
mm,
functioning team because of the attack. They
yeah,
will still need someone like Oliver Giroud or who is a
yeah.
good link up target man.
That's what they need to be looking at for a forward.
Wout Weghorst, yeah, he's a very functional guy in attack.
Yeah, but could you imagine the complaints if he touched the sign at Marseille?
Oh yeah, that would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Especially if they
Oh,
lost
oh,
7
oh,
nil
oh,
after.
oh.
Oh no.
He would have some, not some, he would have a lot of PhD ultras turn up at his home.
Oh yeah. God yeah. Yeah. Oh god. That'd be mass murder, wouldn't they? If they. Should we move, anyway? Should we move on to the Premier League relegation battle? Shame Billy isn't here to talk about this, really, considering it's mostly concerning
That's
him.
his area of expertise, right?
Exactly. He's definitely the expert among us at the relegation battle, being an Everton fan.
Oh, hang on. I watched half an hour of relegation battle midweek, so not midweek,
Oh
in
wow.
at the weekend. So I think right now I'm the expert.
Oh, so come on then, give us your thoughts then.
So when I tuned in, it was 2-1 Everton. Everton were leading 2 goals to one against Nottingham Forest. The game ended 2-2, and I was thinking because let's face it, we love to leave him, but at least if for nothing else, at least for Billy's sanctity, we want Everton to do well enough so that they can stick
Hmm.
around in the Premier League, right?
Yeah, just so we
I
can
was
give him grief.
thinking, bloody hell, what the no swearing, what the hell is wrong with this Everton team? Because it looks like they're playing with only 10 guys and there's someone else missing in the attack. That is the vibe you get from them. They hardly ever attack or threaten the goal. And even if they get near the opposition goal, they don't have anyone around the 6 yard box, around the penalty area for the other attackers to try and aim at.
Which is strange because the Forest fans on the Forest site are always complaining about well, there's a split on the complaint. There's one group that hates the fact that Steve Cooper plays so defensively. You know what I mean? And there's half of it, yeah, the other side understand why and think he's just having to play that way because it's the only way they can survive. You know what I mean? But everyone agrees they're very defensive minded and don't really attack well. But you're making it sound like they were the ones
Yeah,
that
they were the
couldn't
ones
get.
attacking.
Hmm.
They were the ones. They
It's
were
a,
the ones trying to score the goal
but I suppose
when
they
I
were
tuned
2-1
in.
down, weren't they, at the
And also,
time?
it's
So
against
maybe
Everton,
yeah.
and it's against Everton without a recognized striker.
Yeah, and it was you watching the second half rather than from the start when so maybe they sat in and played defensive for the first 60 minutes and then when you switched it on they're opening up to go for it like Moyes used to do at Everton when he was their manager. He used to look to keep it tight for the first 60 minutes and then start to open up and have a go, didn't he? So maybe it's a similar thing Cooper did there.
Yeah, but Everton won't survive if they don't. I don't know how they scored the two goals from. I only watched the last half an hour. Like you said, it could have been dictated by the game situation and
Hmm.
all. But if, as a relegation threatened side, if you don't even look like troubling the opposition keeper when you're basically facing another team that would be your rival, right?
Hmm.
Then you're royally fucked.
I, I mean, they must have a. I mean, well, I say unfortunately a lot of
DCL
that.
was injured. DCL was injured, as it is the case for him most of the time nowadays. He
Yeah.
was injured.
Yeah, I mean they're in real trouble. Let's be honest, they're a mess. They've bought badly, sold the wrong players, brought in and that's been badly managed by the wrong managers. They've got an owner that
I, I know
actually
I know
doesn't
you're not the
actually
I know
own
you're
them.
not the right guy for
Mm.
me to ask. It should actually be Billy that would be that we should expect to maybe know the answer. But what the hell did Everton actually do with the Romelu Lukaku money?
Oh, they wasted it on like 40 players. You got to remember they paid 50 million for Richarlison in the first place when they signed him. So
Yeah,
it's
but
not like they weren't spending money.
even then even then they were spending money from the new owners. They were spending money from a huge sale of Lukaku. Wasn't it like 70, 80 odd million?
Something like that. It was 70 million, I think, wasn't it?
No, I think it's 75 million rising to 90. I don't think it rose to 90 because Lukaku, let's face it, didn't do much for
No,
United, but
he
still.
wasn't very good for you, was he?
Even if it is 70 million, it's a lot of money, especially for Everton. Where did they end up? Come on. You
According
can't even like
50 million, according to
what 50 for whom?
for Lukaku, according to Transfermarkt.
For
They're saying
no, we
50
didn't pay
million.
50. No, we didn't pay 50. Come on.
Oh no, hang on. Is that market value or is that his fee? No,
That's market
on
value.
market value it must be. I just couldn't believe his value at 50 million. Uh,
They
84.7.
Everton, yeah,
84.7, yeah.
that much.
Because you
And
sold him for 75, that's why. About 74 million euros.
mm,
Yeah, 84 million euros. That's 84.7 million euros. What's that? That's probably about
80,
78.
75, 80.
Yeah, 78, something like that, million pounds. So,
But remember, the exchange rate was different in 17, 18.
yeah. Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
bit.
but it's upwards of 70 million. And who was the striker they signed, for example?
I was just looking. Well, they paid 50 million for Sigurdsson that season. Paid 28, nearly 30 million for Keane, Michael Keane.
Yeah,
Bought Pickford for nearly 30 million. Davy Klaassen for nearly 30 million. Theo Walcott for 20 odd million. Toshin for 20 odd million. Vlasic they paid 11 million. So they spent plenty that summer. They spent
But they
200
didn't
million.
spend too much.
They
But
spent
they didn't
200
spend
million.
enough on an attacker. So would it be fair to say like they've never truly replaced Lukaku?
They, I think they were looking at Even
Oh,
then,
the
I think it was Calvert-Lewin
Moise
was
Kean.
expected to take it, and Moise Kean
Moise
came in
Kean.
later,
Yeah,
didn't he?
I just remember. Yeah, and he's
They've
been
tried with a couple of
sold. Moise Kean has been sold.
back at
Is
Juventus
that
now.
true? Yeah. At
Strange.
a loss. At a loss.
Very strange. He didn't want to be there, did he? So it's an odd one. That boy's an odd one. Bit like Balotelli. Reminds you of Balotelli.
He got sent off within 40 seconds, right? Moise Kean.
Hmm. That's what I mean. He's got that Balotelli vibe. He self-destructs when he had the world at his feet, and then he just doesn't seem like he's asked. I mean, he had the chance at Everton. I know he went to Everton. I can understand why he's a bit put out, being forced out by Juve to go to Everton. It's not, no matter how you put it, even an Evertonian would have to say that Juventus at that point to go to Everton was a big step down for him at that time. And then so I can understand him being, but he had a chance at PSG and he flopped there. It wasn't.
He did all right by all accounts, but only all right.
Yeah, when you're playing at a PSG, you can't just be all right, can you? Let's be honest. You should be better than all. You should be absolutely destroying that league. See, that's another thing. They've never got it right. If you look back throughout the ownership, the Qataris' ownership, despite them winning the French league pretty much every year because of the lack of competition, they've never really got it right with their signing policy at all, have they?
There was a time when they had Edinson Cavani and Zlatan Ibrahimovic together.
Mm. But
Why?
they treated
Why do you want? Why do you want two number nines?
exactly.
Or two world class number nines. I'm doing air quotes.
But they
Two world class number nines, but you have a system that only plays one.
and then badly mistreat Cavani anyway. Afterwards, throughout his entire time there, he was treated like he was discarded like he was. When he was still a key player for them, and they just didn't want to. Because he wasn't a big enough name. So I mean, they've gone down the route Real Madrid went down when they were doing the Galacticos, rather than looking at it and saying, well, it didn't work for Real Madrid. That's why they stopped doing it. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know why we went back to PSG. We're supposed to be talking about a relegation battle, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think Palace is still not out of it as well.
I was gonna
anyone
mention
from
it. I think
Palace
Palace
downwards.
are in free fall.
Palace look to be the biggest, the worries. I think Wolves look pretty much like they're pulling out of it now. Forest are one of those where it could go either way with them.
Oh wait, hang on a minute. Since you mentioned Wolves, I s- I heard a stat recently that in the past 6 months, 18, I don't know how long, like past year, 6 months, whatever it is, there's only been one goal from a recognized striker at Wolves
Jeez,
in
I
the
can
Premier
believe
League.
that.
Oh,
I
no,
can
that is
believe
why
that.
I'm not sure what the stat is, but I didn't cross check it because even if it is 18 months, you would believe it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, they just they like Brighton were until Evan Ferguson appeared. They just don't have a striker worthy of the name. That's the reason why they're down there in the relegation battle rather than anything else.
And their luck is such that Raul Jimenez got injured, doesn't look to be half the player he was before, yada yada yada. We've said this so many times. They try and rectify it by signing someone, and then he gets injured 30 minutes into the season,
Hmm.
Sasa Kalajdzic. And then they bring in the almost, not almost. Past it, Diego Costa, who gets himself sent off, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And now you have to bring in Matheus Cunha.
and Sarabia to provide.
But Sarabia is more of a creator.
Hmm.
Cunha isn't their out and out striker either.
No, they haven't really got an out-and-out striker, have they? Other than Jimenez.
No, but I'm thinking like maybe Lopetegui is in a way locked out because next season kicks around, Kalaitis would be back fit, probably firing, and then have a he's gonna have a chance at a striker finally for Wolves.
Hmm. But I think I don't know if you agree with me, but I think they look to have enough to pull away from this battle now, don't they?
No, they
Of the ones down there.
when you're in and around relegation, what the most important thing for you, I think, above all is vibes. If you have positivity around the club,
Hmm.
then there is a much better chance for you to have an upturn in form. Wolves have a lot more positivity right now than they did before the World Cup.
Yeah, the fans like Lopetegui. They think they've got a, you know, um, they think he's better than them. If you see what I mean. You know, they've got someone who's
He
another level from where
basically
they are.
basically he's got fans on board.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of a buffer. I guess I agree. I think
Hmm.
I think Wolves realistically are. I think Wolves realistically will be say virtually safe like within a month or so.
You got to say they're only really fighting over one place because I can't see Bournemouth or Southampton pulling clear. Though
You say that you say
Southampton
that,
got the
but
players
Southampton
to.
have won. Yeah, you say that, but Southampton have won two of their last three games.
Yeah, I mean they've got the players to do it. It's just they're just such a mess. But yeah,
Yeah, you never know
I
how
can't
the
tell, can
players
you?
react to Roman Celis,
That's true.
Roman Ruben or
Is it
whatever his
Ruben?
first name is.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
Ruben,
yeah,
isn't it?
it's
Yeah.
Ruben. Yeah, it's Ruben.
And Everton are so bad, and Leeds just don't look like a team at the moment. West Ham and the Moyes, I mean, they're all falling out with him, aren't they? All the players.
How is Moyes still in the job?
I have absolutely no idea.
I'm not hoping, praying for anyone to lose his job, but they were not they were they are playing in the European what's it Conference League because they finished like sixth, seventh, however, like that high in the table last season. Now they're looking like they might genuinely get relegated and it's still in the job.
And they've spent
That's
a
a
lot of
lot of
money as well.
faith. Yeah, a lot of faith being shown by the board,
Yeah,
I
they
guess.
backed him with a lot of money, and then he wouldn't play the players that they bought for, that he wanted in. So yeah, you got to say it's surprising. Leicester, I can understand why they've stuck by Rodgers, even if I'm not a fan of Rodgers. I can understand why they stuck by him because it's not all his fault that they're in a mess. Obviously, they've got financial difficulties, so they've been hamstrung by FFP. So it's understandable that they're struggling, but just not to the extent that they actually are. That I can actually see it. I mean, you look at that, and you could actually make a case for any of these to go down, couldn't you? I mean,
I think Palace are secretly in real danger unless there is a upturn
mm,
in form because they don't score many goals.
yeah, I
They
think
don't
they're in
have
trouble.
they don't have a goal scorer, and if you don't have a goal scorer, you're always in with a sort to
And they
get
don't.
dragged into the mess.
And I'm not convinced Vieira's a good manager either.
Nottingham Forest have too many players, and since they're like How many points? Let me do the math. 4 points clear.
Mm.
So I think Nottingham Forest might survive. Leicester, you never know because Leicester also struggle with scoring goals consistently.
But they have got goal scorers in Daka, Iheanacho, and Vardy, who can pop up with a goal
Oh
when it's needed.
no 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 no! I was secretly thinking don't say Vardy because he's not scored for. I think he's only got one goal this season.
He's not played many games though, has he? Hasn't Daka and Iheanacho been rotating?
Yeah, but I think Vardy has finally. It's finally time for
Yeah,
him.
I think he's but he's someone you can bring off the bench, and score a goal maybe. So they've still got a threat, is what I was trying to say, of goals. Which, when you look at teams like Everton and you look at their squad, and you don't see a threat of a goal. I think Leeds have got that problem as well, unless Rodrigo's fit. Because you look at their midfield, it's a very defensive midfield. It's not going to score goals. It's not in their attack poor. Bamford will miss
Sondage,
35
like,
shots at a game.
sorry to cut you up, but Sondage has been dealt a really, really bad hand by the board because, like I mentioned before, de- they don't have a decent enough option to replace Dominic Calvert-Lewin with. And since we were talking about relegation-threatened teams, there was a Danny Ings who moved to West Ham. There
Mm.
was a Chris Wood who moved to Nottingham Forest. If nothing else, it's a body. It's a body
Yeah,
up top.
yeah. They could have brought in anybody basically. They could have brought in, but they brought in no one, and that
Yeah,
was.
if nothing else, a short-term fix.
Mm, yeah, they I think Dyche was shafted big style there. And it's, if they go down, you can only blame the board, and that's it. It's that simple. It's the owners and the ownership of the club and the board that are at fault for any their problems. That's why they're in a mess. A bit like Leeds, it's the recruitment. It's been appalling. That's why they're in a mess. Which,
But Leeds, on paper, I know it doesn't work like that, but on paper, Leeds have at least in my view, Leeds have a team that should be much better than
hmm,
flirting with relegation.
should
They
be,
should be where, yeah, they should be where Crystal Palace are. I'm not gonna say they should be fighting for Europe. They should be where Crystal Palace are.
but they don't have a goal scorer. They've got players like Bamford who, you know, I know a lot of Leeds fans love him because he had a good time under Bielsa, but for me, he's the worst finisher I've seen in years. He's terrible. He misses so many sitters. It's just shocking. And I know he scored a fair few under Bielsa, but he was getting like 50 chances a game to score and he was scoring the odd, every other game. It's not great for me. See, Sporting have equalised against Arsenal. Hmm.
Yeah, I saw that quite a while ago, actually.
I don't know. I think.
Gonzalo Inacio.
Hmm. Gonzalo Ramos is another striker we haven't mentioned. Could have been a interesting for United,
Yeah,
but possibly just saying. Yeah. Anyway, we aren't talking about United now, though, are we? Yeah. I think the thing you look at, all of them teams in the main, apart from Forest, have got a few people who can score goals. Leicester have got a couple of players who should be able to score enough goals. And
Forest
Southampton.
Forest have a bit of a problem like Chelsea do. They actually have a bit too many players,
Hmm.
and that is one of the reasons the team never settles. If a player is having a bad game, then you can like take him out immediately, take him away from the team. And sometimes You have to be a bit less ruthless as well. West
Yeah,
Ham have a goal scorer in Danny Ings.
yeah, that's true. They've got Danny Ings now, so they've got a they've got a chance of surviving because of it. I think when you're looking at it, it is part of the reason why you're looking at Palace, Everton, and Bournemouth as being the most likely to go down. And I think that's the three that are most likely to go down, in my opinion. Purely because they're the three without proper strikers. With proper goal scorers.
You don't see many players in the team that's gonna be there in a 6 yard scramble trying to tap the ball in.
Mm.
Basically, that's the thing.
Yeah, and they can't, and Everton can't rely on
Uh,
Seamus Coleman type. That Seamus Coleman goal. It's not going to happen again in the season, is it? Or it'd be a shock. It'd be a miracle if it did.
and like for Crystal Palace, you can't rely on Michael Olise to find the top corner from a
Mm.
30-yard free kick, 90 plus 5 minutes.
Their problem is they're far too reliant on Zaha's diving and cheating and whining, and they need
Yeah,
to move on from him. In my opinion, I think that's been their problem for a long time. He's held them back. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's good enough to deserve to be a tier player you build a team around. Not in the Premier League.
I think he's gonna be available on the market for free, and maybe Liverpool should go after him to
Oh
be
God
like
no.
to provide the back of Mohamed Salah.
Oh God no. Apart from the fact he plays off the left, he's just not good enough. Perhaps he could go to West Ham and reunite with David Moyes' daughter.
Moyes won't last there much longer. He
Yeah,
won't.
that's true. Wherever Moyes goes to then, because he's got to be. Do you know what? That's the thing that like if with Kretinsky at West Ham, I thought he'd be decisive for them, but he seems to be just leaving it. Doesn't seem to be getting that involved. I'm surprised. And they don't look like a team that's. But like we said, though, we fancy them to stay up. So maybe they're taking a risk and hoping he can build something long term.
Yeah, but he
Yeah,
won't.
no, it's not the way he
But with
works.
David Moyes, you know how it's gonna work.
Yeah, he'll just turn them into a team of sitting back, defending. That's the thing I don't understand with him. When he first went in, when he had his initial success at West Ham, if you can call it relative success, I think is probably how I should term it, shouldn't I? Because it's not like they won trophies, but you know what I mean. The relative success was they were playing a much more attacking style of football than his usual brand. They looked a good team when they played like that. Now he's reverted back to type, and they're terrible and they're struggling in the relegation battle. Why? Do you never think what's wrong with these managers? How do they not see that the problem is that they're not brave enough?
I don't know.
I mean, I
The
don't.
thing is, the thing with Moyes is, after a certain point, it doesn't matter how much you try and improve the quality of players available to him. Things won't change.
Hmm. But if you're him, you don't need the money. You've made millions. I mean, you made enough money for the rest of your life just by the Man United sacking. That set you up for life on its own. You know what I mean? So you don't need the money. So you don't have to worry about being sacked and thinking where's my next penny gonna come from. You don't need the money at all. So you can go out there and be as bold as you'd like and go for it. And he chooses not to. He goes more and more into his shell. It really doesn't make any sense to me.
And it's a bit confusing.
Pardon, sorry, you broke up, Ran.
It's a bit confusing.
Mm. Yeah, I mean
You
he's
would have thought by now. You would have thought by now he would have learned his lesson.
yeah. I mean the success he had, the relative success he's had at West Ham with playing much more attacking open football than he's doing now. Why revert to type when it's failed you so badly at Man United, at Sunderland, and Real Sociedad? It's let you down. Why would you go back to it? It's odd. But yeah, anyway, for me, it's Palace, Everton, and Bournemouth who look in the most trouble down there. I can see the rest avoid, getting enough points, scraping the points together to escape. But I can't see them three. What about you?
I think like since Southampton, they're already you you have they have less points, so they have more room to make up.
Hmm.
So and you never know how the players are gonna react to the new manager. So they're in trouble. Leeds are still in trouble because, like you said, they don't have an out and out goal scorer. Like I'm really concerned for Everton. I hate to say it, but I don't see how even Saunders can get them out of the trouble. If nothing else, for the sake of Billy's sanctity, I hope Everton stay up.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think it's gonna end up being
But they're joint
Bournemouth,
those.
Southampton. Yeah, Bournemouth, Southampton, Everton, Leeds, and maybe Crystal Palace if they don't
I
turn
mean,
things around soon enough. That end up actually fighting for the relegation places.
you're looking at.
And it must have really sucked for Bournemouth to get a 2 goal lead against Arsenal and come back with
Oh,
nothing.
yeah. That's got for me. That's
Yeah,
them
those kind
done.
of things like they can really suck the life out of it.
Yeah, I think that's why they're gone because that has killed them for me. I just don't see them coming back from that. That's the moment of their opportunity to make it out, and I think that's because some though yeah the chances are that the other teams might
No, they
give
would
them
have.
more
Oh,
chances anyway.
we oh. So if they were gonna be like, they would be 2 3 places above relegation
Hmm.
had they won the game.
Even if they'd drawn, they've still got 22 points, same as Everton, but with a game in hand.
Yeah, but even like it's so it just showed two things to me. One, there are so many teams close to each other, but also like it could be a matter of one goal that decides whether you finish 20th or 16th.
Hmm. Oh yeah, it's going to be a tight battle. It is, and it is going to go to the wire. I think this season. Last
Yeah,
day
no
is going
one
to be
is left
exciting.
behind.
Hmm.
No one is left behind. I thought Southampton were down and out. I thought Bournemouth were like down in the dumpster, but no, actually,
Yeah, they just keep sneaking the results. As do Everton, to be fair to them. Everton and Leeds and they've just been sneaking results when it's mattered so often. Leicester have lost their last three in the league.
Leeds played decently well against Chelsea. Actually,
Hmm. Yeah, but still lost. You can't, it's. But Palace, they haven't won what in the last six, is it? Is it more?
only in the last five they've got 3 points, 3 draws and 2 losses.
Yeah, in the last six they've got four draws and two losses. So
See, that's the issue. They can't score enough goals to turn one of those losses into. sorry, one of those
Mm.
draws into a lot of win.
Goal scoring down. I mean, you look at the teams down the bottom. Leicester City have scored 36. Like I say, and they look like they can score the goals. Nobody else has scored above 30, though Leeds have got 29. You look at it, but Palace 21, Forest 20, West Ham 23, Everton 19, Southampton 20, and Bournemouth 24. See, that's the key thing. They're just not scoring the goals. Poor Billy, though. If they go down, I, I mean, it'd be nice for a laugh to wind him up for about 10 minutes, and then I'd just feel too guilty. I feel too sorry for him.
Just 19 goals all season.
In 26 games as well.
But to be fair, it's the same number of goals as Wolves. Wolves are 13, and we're saying they're clear. But they should be clear.
Yeah, but they've brought in We're saying it because of Lopetegui coming in and they're riding high on it. The fans are behind them and that. That's why we're saying they'll probably pull clear. Rather than we're expecting them to stroll away. We're just expecting them to do enough because they've got the support of the fans behind them. But yeah, they do have trouble scoring goals, but they don't concede many either usually. Though they've conceded they've conceded a lot more than I realised. 35.
Yeah, but still, it's better than Everton.
Mm.
41.
God,
Let,
Bournemouth
let me check.
51. Wow.
Oh, we've conceded more goals.
35.
We've conceded the same amount of goals as Wolves.
Yeah, so I mean they got a decent defence there.
Yeah, but we conceded 7 this past week. Otherwise, we were fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Fine, not fine, but we were better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an odd season, this one. It's definitely odd. I mean, looking at Chelsea, you'd expect them to be up in the challenge in the top four. Newcastle seem to have fallen away now. And
Hang on a
Fulham,
minute, hang on a minute, hang on a minute. Sporting have taken the lead.
how are
I just
Fulham?
realized.
Really? Oh.
Yeah,
Nope, Arsenal back level, 2-2.
just now.
Yeah.
Just as I spoke, they already conceded.
Interesting. This could be the make or break moment for their season. This.
Now there's the second leg, and like I said,
Yeah, but like these kind of moments where when you've gone behind and you don't lose. These kind of things, they have a way of becoming, where
hang
you
on a
gain
minute, the
momentum.
game isn't finished. Come on.
No, but I'm
Who knows? They
saying
might win, but they
it.
might lose as well.
Yeah. West Ham 2-0 up, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I forgot they're in the Europa
Conference.
Conference League. I was looking at the Europa League. I was thinking, hey, I was
Conference.
very confused then. Oh yeah, 2-0 up. I see Union Berlin losing
And
to
Union.
Union Saint-Gilloise.
Yeah.
Because that's Brighton's feeder team, isn't it? Saint-Gilloise, USG.
I don't know whether it's feeder or not, but it's by Tony.
Yeah, they get their they loan them players all the time, mostly. It's a sister club and they loan them a lot of their young players and that. And it
I
wasn't
mean, it's more like RB Salzburg and Leipzig. And people say it's like a feeder club, but if you look at it, it's not really a feeder club.
Well, they do they do cherry pick the best from them.
Yeah, but not the real best. For example, Holland didn't go to Leipzig.
Yeah, but that was more because Haaland chose not to. You know what I mean? Haaland went where Haaland wanted to go rather than where the teams wanted him to go.
Sadio Mane didn't go to Leipzig, but I guess back then Leipzig was second Bundesliga. Yeah, whatever.
You're breaking up,
However,
mate.
we wanna. Yeah, whatever. However, I might phrase it, but yeah, it's a sister club, feeder club, whatever.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yeah, well, I would have said sister club, but clearly Brighton are the number one club, and USG are below them in the terms of the importance to the ownership. Is what I meant by feeder club, rather than their. Yeah, because it's not really a feeder club system. A feeder club would be just literally like a reserve team, really, isn't it? So you've got a point there.
yeah. When you say feeder club, like I might be having the wrong idea, but I think like if we say feeder club, it means the sole purpose of the team is
Yeah,
to make sure they can help develop players,
yeah, you're
help with
correct.
the finances, whatever, with the other team, but it's not.
Yeah,
It's more like run by the same or similar group of owners, but
yeah,
as separate entities.
yeah. You're correct. I was misworded. I don't know,
Sorry, you're
misworded.
breaking up. Say it again.
Am I? God, you were
Yeah.
breaking up a second ago. That's weird. Yeah, I was saying no. You were correct.
No, no, I couldn't hear it properly. Sorry.
I'm not saying that again. I've said, I've said it twice. I'm not saying it a third
No,
time.
You weren't breaking up.
No, I gathered that. I'm just saying. I'm not fucking saying it again. I've said it twice. I'm never saying that again. I'm not even going to say
So
what I won't say again.
I guess after we're done, I still go back to the car, clip it out, share it around.
and keep playing it in the when we do the next few times. Yeah, just put it on so it pops out in the card. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should rename the podcast. Deep's got it right.
Yeah, but it'll never happen again, so there's no point. Oh, you mean this week's one? Maybe we should. Yeah, I called it Don't Mention the Seven, but maybe you're right. Maybe we should change it. Deep's got something right.
No, this week's podcast will be 7-up from Liverpool to Manchester United. 7 points. 7-up, man. We're 7-up from you.
Yeah,
No,
well,
I would much rather win 7-0 and be 7 points up,
exactly. You can't bet.
but given the choice, I'd rather lose 7-0 and still be 7 points ahead.
Exactly. I think everyone would. Let's be honest. It's strange.
In a
You
way, like
wouldn't think it
in a
though.
way because it is in a way because it is 7-0, it's almost past. Like after 3-4 goals, it's like yeah, you don't feel bad. More like you feel oh yeah.
I don't know. Every goal that goes in hurts me. So
No, but after a point, it's like oh another one. It's more like another one bites the dust.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's. I suppose it depends on the person. For me, it would. Yeah, losing 7-0. Oh, no, that'd
Oh
kill me.
come on, Chris, you've heard me when I play FIFA. Just imagine how I am when we are actually losing 7-0 in the real world.
Oh, I remember that when we lost against Villa, that the language was just. Oh, that was. I mean, for years after my daughter was born, I didn't swear because I didn't want to swear in front of her. Everybody else swears, so I just thought, like, give her someone that doesn't swear in their life, except watching football was the only time. That was the only time. I couldn't help it. You just can't watch football and not swear. I don't think it's possible. If you care, I suppose. If you don't care, I suppose it
No,
is
but you
easily
end up
possible.
but I think you either end up caring or you don't watch at all. You
Yeah,
lose interest.
exactly. You stop watching a sport if you don't care, don't do you? You
No,
don't want.
if you only care about Liverpool, then you will eventually end up watching any other game.
Mm.
with any kind of attention. Maybe you leave it playing in the background, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Fair point. Anyway, I think we should wrap it up now before we get sidetracked any further because I've totally forgotten what we started off discussing now. I can.
relegation battle.
Oh yeah,
That is
and
not
somehow
really a
we've talked
discussion.
about you being 7 points ahead of Liverpool, even though you lost 7-0. Somehow we've ended up on that again. I don't know how we end up getting so sidetracked. But yeah, yeah. So anyway, my choice, I think it's Everton, Bournemouth, and Crystal Palace are the ones are my tips to go down. How about you? Before we go, go on.
I think it's not. I'm not gonna say what I think. I hope
Come
it's
on, put your neck
not
on your
gonna be
line.
Everton. I hope it's not gonna be
So
Everton.
do
So
I, but
with all the biasness in me tailored towards this prediction, I'm gonna say it's gonna be Leeds, London, Bournemouth.
well, I'm picking
Everton,
Everton on the hope that I jinx it so they'll stay up.
whichever one works.
Yeah, because I really do hope they stay up. I like Sean Dyche, and I just imagine my auntie's face if they go down. She would be so heartbroken, and she's an old woman, so you don't want her to be. You don't want old people to be upset, do you? Bless them. So
Yeah, that is why I don't want Everton to go down. I don't want our old Billy to be
exactly.
sad, old and miserable.
Yeah, I mean he's already old and miserable
No,
enough. You don't want it to
no, no,
be
no.
any
I
more.
don't want him to be older and more miserable.
Exactly. Yeah, well, that's something we don't need in our lives, isn't it? I mean he's already gone into hiding. Where is he today, actually? Maybe he thought we weren't doing it because I'm moving out. Oh yeah, that's true. Before we end it, I'll have to say might not be. I don't know whether we'll be doing one next week because I'm moving house on Saturday and I don't know if I'm going to have internet for a while other than mobile data, and so I might not be able to, to do the stream because of it. I don't know how it'll work because the building's still being constructed, so they won't put the internet in until it's finished. If only they'd told me that before I'd handed in my notice here and all that and arranged to move. I would have left it a bit, but there you go. Anyway, so uh, uh, so I put my teeth back in. That's better. So we'll see you next Thursday, maybe.
See you next Thursday.
Hopefully.
I was gonna say definitely, but no. You're the head honcho. If you say no, then it's gonna be no. Anyways,
Well, I'm
goodbye,
the
bye
one that
bye.
streams it,
See
and
you.
I so
Yeah, see you next Thursday or maybe some other Thursday.
yeah, hopefully next Thursday. If not, it'll be as soon as I get my internet back on. So get my internet sorted. So take care, all. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.